Chosen ones, what I am about to share may surprise, even shock you. If you are watching this video right now, it is not by coincidence. You have been divinely guided here because something extraordinary is happening in your life. This is a pivotal moment, a threshold where the essence of who you are is shifting. You are no longer merely human. Yes, you heard me right. The limitations of human existence are falling away, and you are awakening to the truth of your divine nature. This transformation is more than a mindset shift. It is a profound spiritual and energetic awakening. As a chosen one, your life is beginning to unfold in ways that will leave you awestruck. But to fully align with this divine shift and step into your highest potential, you must first understand what is happening within you. Before we embark on this life-changing journey together, I invite you to pause this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave the number 11 in the comments below. This act is more than symbolic. It sends a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. If you are truly a chosen one, you will feel an undeniable pull to watch this message until the very end. For those who persevere, your life will never be the same. Let us begin. Imagine for a moment that the world you know, the tangible reality you see, hear, and touch, is only a fraction of existence. What if beyond this physical realm lies an infinite expanse of truths, energies, and dimensions your human mind can scarcely comprehend? This is not a dream or a fantasy, but an invitation to awaken to a deeper reality. It is the call of your soul, a whisper from the depths of your being, urging you to break free from the limitations of human perception. It beckons you to step beyond the mundane and into the infinite. Everyday life is filled with distractions, the noise of responsibilities, the chatter of doubt, and the hum of fear. These are the barriers that keep many from hearing the call. Yet, deep within, a yearning persists. It is a longing for something greater, a faint but steady pull toward a truth that transcends the physical world. You may have felt it in moments of stillness, when time seems to pause, and a quiet knowing stirs within you. This is not your imagination. It is your soul awakening, guiding you to remember your divine nature. The illusions of separation, struggle, and fear that have defined your life are beginning to dissolve. These are constructs of a limited perspective, designed to confine you within the boundaries of human understanding. But you were never meant to be confined. You are not merely a human being striving to survive. You are a divine being, eternally connected to the infinite tapestry of existence. Your essence is limitless, your soul unbound by the constraints of time and space. This awakening is not about discovering something new. It is about uncovering the truth of who you have always been. Your soul is ancient, carrying within it the wisdom of lifetimes. It has journeyed through eons, gathering experiences and lessons that now culminate in this moment. The call you hear is not unfamiliar. It is a memory, an echo of your soul's eternal nature. It reminds you of your divine essence, your power, and your purpose. The time has come to answer this call, to step out of the shadows of doubt and into the light of understanding. The path before you is not random. It has been carefully woven by the divine. To rise into the fullness of your potential, you must trust this journey. Embrace the truth that you are more than your circumstances, more than your fears, and more than your earthly identity. You are a divine being awakening to your purpose, ready to step boldly into the extraordinary life you were always meant to live. For far too long, humanity has been shackled by illusions of fear, separation, and unworthiness. As a chosen one, you are being called to break free from these chains. Every doubt, every fear, and every perceived limitation you have ever known is an illusion. They are constructs of a limited consciousness designed to keep you small. But you were never meant to stay small. You were meant to shine with the brilliance of the divine. Your essence is limitless, expansive, and eternal. The beliefs that once held you captive are now dissolving, and in their place, a new understanding is emerging, an understanding that you are the creator of your reality. You are not defined by your past, your circumstances, or the labels the world has placed upon you. To transcend the limits of the human condition, you must first shift your perception, see through the veil of illusions, and recognize the boundless potential within you. When you align with your divine nature, you become a vessel for universal energy, a co-creator with the infinite. The power to manifest your dreams, to create a reality that reflects your highest self, lies within you. All that is required is your willingness to embrace this truth. One of the most profound realizations that arises during this transformation is the understanding that separation is an illusion. For so long, the belief that you are an isolated being, detached from others, the earth, and the divine, has shaped the human experience. This falsehood has fostered fear, competition, and a sense of disconnection. Yet, as you awaken, this illusion begins to crumble, and in its place, a deeper, more profound truth emerges. Everything is interconnected. The same divine spark that flows through you flows through every person, every creature, and every corner of creation. You are not apart from the universe. You are a living, breathing expression of it. This oneness is not just a spiritual concept, but a fundamental truth of existence. It means that every thought you think, every word you speak, and every action you take sends ripples across the vast web of life, influencing the world in ways you cannot always see but can deeply feel. As you embrace this interconnectedness, your perception shifts. You begin to see others not as separate beings, but as reflections of the same divine essence within you. Compassion flows more freely, judgment fades, and a profound sense of unity takes its place. This realization also expands your understanding of your own power. You are not just an individual navigating life. You are a co-creator, a part of the cosmic dance, with the potential to heal, uplift, and transform the world around you. Living in alignment with this oneness is a call to embody love, authenticity, and harmony with all of life. It is an invitation to move beyond the limitations of the ego and into the expansive truth of your divine nature, where you and all of creation exist as one. As you move through this awakening, the walls that once defined your identity begin to crumble. You start to see beyond the labels, roles, and stories that have shaped your human experience. You are not your name, your profession, or even your history. These are temporary expressions of your higher self. Your true essence is beyond form, beyond time, beyond any earthly construct. You are a being of light, an eternal expression of the divine. To awaken to this truth is not to lose yourself, but to find yourself. To reconnect with the infinite possibilities that have always been within you. The dissolution of identity is a liberation, a shedding of the layers that no longer serve you. In this state of freedom, you begin to live with a sense of purpose and connection, guided by the quiet observer within you, the eternal part of you that watches life unfold without attachment or judgment. This observer is your anchor, your connection to higher consciousness, and your guide as you navigate this transformation. As a chosen one, you are not a passive observer in the unfolding of life. You are a creator, a divine architect of your own reality. The power to manifest your deepest desires and fulfill your highest purpose resides within you. This power is not given to you from outside sources. It is your birthright, an innate force that has always been a part of your being. Your thoughts, intentions, and actions are far more than fleeting moments or random occurrences. They are the building blocks of the world you experience. Manifestation is not about wishful thinking or idle daydreams. It is a deliberate process of aligning with the energy of creation itself. It requires you to step into a state of clarity, focus, and love, attuning your inner world to the reality you wish to create. When you approach life with a sense of purpose and intentionality, the universe responds in kind, weaving your desires into the fabric of existence. This is the law of creation. like attracts like, and what you focus on expands. Your role as a creator begins with your thoughts. Every idea you entertain carries energy, shaping the frequency you emit into the world. Positive, empowered thoughts draw similar energies, paving the way for abundance, joy, and opportunity. Conversely, negative or limiting beliefs can manifest obstacles and challenges, reflecting the energy of fear or doubt. As a chosen one, your journey is to cultivate a mindset rooted in love, gratitude, and possibility, ensuring that your thoughts align with the reality you wish to experience. Intentions amplify this creative process. When you set clear and purposeful intentions, you send a powerful signal to the universe, declaring your readiness to receive. Intentions are the seeds of manifestation, guiding your energy and focus toward your desired outcomes. They act as a blueprint, shaping the way the universe arranges circumstances and opportunities to align with your goals. Action is the bridge between intention and reality. Manifestation is not a passive process. It requires you to take inspired steps that align with your vision. These actions need not be grand or overwhelming. Often, small, consistent efforts made with faith and determination can create profound results. When your actions are aligned with your higher self and driven by love and clarity, they become powerful catalysts for transformation. Living as a creator means recognizing that you are not separate from the universe, you are a part of it. The same divine energy that flows through the cosmos flows through you. When you embrace this truth, you step into a state of flow, where creation becomes effortless and natural. In this state, you are not chasing after your dreams. You are attracting them, drawing into your life the people, experiences, and opportunities that resonate with your highest good. Within you lies a profound and dynamic interplay of energies, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. These energies are not opposing forces but complementary aspects of your being, each playing a vital role in your spiritual journey. When balanced and integrated, they create a harmonious whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Together, they form the foundation of your creative power and the essence of your divine nature. The divine masculine is the energy of action, strength, and structure. It is the force that propels you forward, turning dreams into reality and ideas into tangible form. This energy represents clarity, determination, and the ability to create order from chaos. The divine masculine is the builder, the protector, and the catalyst for progress. It is the strength within you that rises to meet challenges, the discipline that sustains your efforts, and the focus that drives you toward your goals. On the other hand, the divine feminine is the energy of intuition, nurturing, and flow. It is the essence of creativity, compassion, and connection. This energy guides you to listen to the whispers of your soul, to trust the wisdom of your heart, and to embrace the beauty of stillness. The divine feminine is the dreamer, the healer, and the source of endless possibilities. It is the nurturing force that allows ideas to grow, the empathy that fosters connection, and the surrender that invites miracles into your life. As a chosen one, your journey is to honor and integrate these energies within yourself. This sacred union is not about choosing one over the other or suppressing either aspect. It is about recognizing their equal importance and allowing them to work in harmony. When the divine masculine and feminine energies are balanced, they bring you into alignment with your highest self. The masculine provides the structure and drive to bring visions to life, while the feminine offers the insight and sensitivity to ensure those creations are meaningful and aligned with your soul's purpose. This balance brings not only inner peace but also profound power. It allows you to manifest with wisdom and purpose, uniting the logic of the mind with the wisdom of the heart. The masculine energy ensures you take decisive action, while the feminine energy ensures those actions are guided by intuition and love. Together, they empower you to live a life of authenticity, creativity, and fulfillment. To cultivate this balance, you must first become aware of these energies within you. Observe when one energy may be overemphasized or suppressed, and take steps to nurture the other. Embrace practices that honor both aspects, such as meditation to connect with your intuition, and focused action to bring your visions to life. Trust that by integrating these energies, you are stepping into the fullness of your divine potential. In this sacred union lies your true power, the ability to live a life of balance, harmony, and purposeful creation. This is your journey as a chosen one, to embody the strength of the divine masculine and the grace of the divine feminine, creating a life that is both powerful and beautiful. The journey of awakening is not one of struggle or force. It is a journey of surrender, a profound act of trust in the divine flow of the universe. Surrender does not mean giving up or resigning yourself to circumstances. Rather, it is the conscious decision to let go of resistance and control, allowing the natural rhythm of life to guide you. It is an act of faith, a recognition that the universe is always conspiring in your favor, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. To live in grace is to live in a state of alignment with this divine flow. Grace is not something you earn or achieve. It is your natural state when you release the burdens of fear and doubt. It is the quiet assurance that everything is unfolding as it should, that the universe has a plan far greater and more intricate than your mind could ever conceive. In this state, you are free. Free from the need to manipulate outcomes, free from the grip of anxiety, and free to simply be. When you embrace grace, you step into a life of ease and flow. The struggles that once weighed you down begin to dissolve, not because the challenges disappear, but because your perspective shifts. You begin to see life's obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than barriers to your happiness. Each moment, no matter how small, becomes a gift to be cherished, a chance to experience the beauty and wonder of existence. Surrendering to grace also means embracing the present moment with gratitude and love. So often, we are caught up in the what-ifs of the future or the regrets of the past, missing the profound peace that lies in the now. Grace invites you to pause, to breathe, and to recognize the perfection of this moment. It teaches you that there is no need to push or force life to conform to your expectations because the divine plan is already in motion. As you live in grace, miracles begin to unfold, not because you demanded them, but because you created the space for them. By releasing fear and resistance, you open yourself to infinite possibilities, allowing the universe to work through you and for you. You become a vessel for divine energy, effortlessly attracting the experiences, people, and opportunities that align with your highest good. To live in grace is to live in harmony with the universe, to trust that you are always supported and guided. It is a journey of surrender, not struggle, a journey that leads to profound peace, joy, and fulfillment. When you align with grace, you discover the freedom of flowing with life rather than against it, embracing each moment with an open heart and the unshakable knowing that all is well. You are living in a time of unprecedented transformation. As the chosen ones, you are not merely participants in this change. You are leaders, beacons of light, guiding humanity into a new dawn. This is not a distant future. It is happening now. Each step you take toward your divine potential shapes the collective reality of the world. The call to awaken is not just for you, it is for all of humanity. By embodying your divine nature, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of love, unity, and transformation. The time to step into your power is now. The world is waiting for you to rise, to shine, and to create a reality that reflects the boundless light within you. Chosen ones, this is your moment. Embrace it with open arms, knowing that the universe is conspiring in your favor. You are the light in the darkness, the hope in despair, and the love that will heal the world. The future is limitless, and it begins with you. Thank you for being here, for answering the call, and for stepping into your power. If this message resonates with you, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who may need to hear this. Your support helps us reach more souls and spread this light across the world. Let's walk this path of awakening together. Remember, you are never alone. The universe is with you, always. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of. a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real, merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, and instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation, a light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence, all of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to His mission. With your generosity, you help spread His love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see. Welcome, chosen ones. Let this message resonate deeply with your spirit. The devil may be powerful, but even his hands tremble when it comes to the chosen ones. Think about that for a moment. While most people live in constant fear of dark forces, here's a truth that will keep you up for all the right reasons. If you are truly chosen, no demon, no dark entity, no shadowy force can lay a finger on you. Why? Because your destiny is not ordinary. It is sealed with divine protection, a spiritual force field so unbreakable that even the darkest spirits whisper, "Not today." You ever wonder why, despite the chaos around you, you continue to rise? It's not luck. It's God placing you front and center, giving you a clear view of your enemies as they scramble in defeat. And let me tell you, the look on their faces when they realize they can't touch you? Priceless. Here's the truth. Your life is built on a foundation that dark forces cannot breach. You are untouchable, operating on a divine frequency that darkness cannot comprehend, let alone reach. Let's dive deeper into the reasons why the chosen ones are a force that even the devil himself fears. The energy of a chosen one is unmatched, vibrating on a level so high that it's beyond the comprehension of dark forces. Think of it as tuning into a radio station that doesn't exist on their dial. Demons and malevolent entities are confined to lower vibrations, feeding off fear, doubt, and negativity. But you? Your essence is like a celestial symphony they cannot hear. You don't just operate in a different realm. You live in a realm they cannot access. Their attacks bounce off you like pebbles against a fortress wall. It's not about being defensive. It's that they can't even begin to grasp your essence. To them, you're a beacon of light so radiant it's blinding. They scatter, powerless, because your very presence disrupts their plans. Your destiny isn't subject to negotiation. Long before dark forces ever plotted against you, God had already sealed your fate in divine ink. No demon, no scheme, no force can rewrite what God has ordained. Think of it as a celestial contract with your name on it, and there's no room for edits, cancellations, or interference. Every attempt to harm you only reinforces your divine path. Their efforts are absorbed into the divine plan, transforming obstacles into stepping stones. What they meant for evil is repurposed for your growth. This isn't just protection. It's a divine guarantee that your life's purpose will prevail. When you walk with the confidence of someone whose destiny is sealed, every move you make becomes unstoppable. Demons thrive on manipulation and deceit, weaving their influence in the shadows where their schemes can go unnoticed. They plant seeds of fear, doubt, and confusion, hoping you'll unknowingly nurture them with your thoughts and energy. Their power lies in subtlety, relying on their ability to remain hidden while pulling the strings. But as a chosen one, The moment you become aware of their tactics, their power begins to unravel. Awareness is their greatest enemy because it shines a light on their tricks, rendering them powerless. Your understanding acts as both a shield and a sword. It blocks their attempts to infiltrate your mind and cuts through their web of lies with the clarity of divine truth. They rely on secrecy, but you expose them with the light you carry. Their entire strategy collapses when faced with someone who sees through the illusions they so carefully craft. This knowledge terrifies them because they cannot manipulate what is no longer blind to their schemes. The clarity you possess is their defeat. It neutralizes their efforts, leaving them scrambling in confusion and fear. By simply recognizing their games, you strip them of their power, ensuring their attempts fail before they even begin. Here's a powerful truth. The war against you was lost before it even began. From the moment you were chosen, your victory was written into the divine blueprint of your life. Your story is sealed with God's promise, making every trap, every scheme, and every attack against you utterly futile. You are a living testament to the scripture that proclaims, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The forces of darkness know this truth, yet they still attempt to resist it, only to fail repeatedly. Dark forces pour their energy into trying to derail you, hoping to disrupt the divine purpose attached to your life, but every strike they launch only reinforces their defeat. Each failed attempt reminds them of their ultimate powerlessness against someone protected and elevated by God. The harder they push, the more their plans unravel, exposing their inability to alter what has already been divinely ordained. Your life is anchored to a purpose that cannot be undone. Their efforts to stop you are not only ineffective, they highlight the profound truth of your calling. They are fighting a battle they were destined to lose, and your unwavering progress is proof that God's plan for you remains unstoppable. The authority you carry as a chosen one is undeniable and unmatched. You are not just protected by divine power, you walk in dominion, a position of spiritual superiority that commands respect and instills fear in the forces of darkness. While dark forces thrive in environments of chaos, fear, and confusion, your very presence disrupts their strongholds. When you step into a room, it is not merely you who enters. It is the spiritual authority bestowed upon you by the Creator. This authority radiates from you like a beacon of light, causing them to scatter in panic. Your life is not about mere survival. It's about dominance over darkness. You don't just withstand their attacks, you dismantle their influence entirely, rendering their schemes powerless. They avoid you not out of preference, but because they have no other choice. The energy you carry is too great for them to endure, and they recognize the divine hand that moves with you. This authority isn't just acknowledged, it is deeply feared. Darkness cannot coexist with the light you bring. Where they sow confusion, you bring clarity. Where they stir fear, you exude peace. Your dominion isn't a passive shield, it is an active force that nullifies their presence entirely. You are more than a threat, you are their undoing, a living testament to the power and purpose that cannot be challenged. In your presence, they are reminded of their limits and the futility of opposing someone so deeply aligned with divine truth. Fear is the weapon of choice for demons, their most potent tool for gaining control and sowing destruction. It is the gateway they use to manipulate thoughts, distort reality, and pull people into despair. Fear creates doubt, hesitation, and a sense of powerlessness, all of which are fertile ground for darkness to thrive. But as a chosen one, fear does not rule your heart or dictate your actions. Your mindset is grounded in faith, a divine confidence that places you beyond their reach. This shift in energy is profound. It creates a divine firewall around you, an impenetrable barrier that dark forces cannot cross. When fear comes knocking, you don't answer. You do not entertain the lies, the threats, or the chaos it brings. And this refusal confounds them. Their entire strategy is built on the assumption that you'll buckle under pressure, that fear will paralyze you, and that they can exploit your uncertainty. But when you remain steadfast, their power disintegrates, leaving them frustrated and powerless. Your courage doesn't just protect you, It sends a resounding message to the spiritual realm. Fear has no place here. It declares that your trust lies not in what is seen, but in the divine hand that guides your steps. This unwavering faith is your shield, and it turns every attack back on itself. The more they try to stir fear, the more they reveal their own powerlessness. In the presence of a chosen one walking boldly in faith, fear has no foothold, and darkness loses its grip entirely. Demons rely heavily on predictability. They are masters of studying human behavior, analyzing patterns, and identifying weaknesses they can exploit. They thrive when people fall into cycles of fear, doubt, and hesitation, behaviors they know how to manipulate. But when it comes to chosen ones, their strategies fall apart. You don't play by the rules of the world or adhere to predictable patterns. Instead, your actions are guided by divine purpose, making you both unpredictable and unshakable. They expect fear, but you stand firm in faith. They anticipate hesitation, but you move forward with unwavering confidence. When they try to push you into doubt, you counter with boldness rooted in trust. This refusal to follow their script throws them into chaos. They cannot map out your next move or anticipate how you'll respond, leaving them powerless to control or influence you. You are a mystery they cannot solve, a force they cannot manipulate. And this confusion doesn't just frustrate them, it weakens their ability to act. Their entire strategy depends on predictability, but when faced with someone aligned with divine truth, their plans unravel. You disrupt their tactics simply by being authentically guided by God, leaving them baffled and defeated. Demons thrive in chaos, feeding on fear, confusion, and turmoil to gain control. But your peace? It's an unshakable force that disrupts their plans at their very core. This peace doesn't come from living a life free of challenges. Instead, it flows from your profound connection to the divine, a source of strength that remains constant even in the midst of storms. While others may falter under pressure or panic in trials, you walk with a calm assurance that God is guiding your path. This unyielding peace is their greatest frustration. They scheme to stir confusion, hoping to cloud your judgment, yet you remain steady and clear-minded. They attempt to plant seeds of doubt in your heart, but your faith serves as fertile ground only for truth, leaving their efforts to wither and fail. Every attempt they make to disrupt your life only serves to highlight their powerlessness. Your peace doesn't just shield you, it actively dismantles their influence. It renders their tools ineffective, turning their chaos into silence. By walking in divine calmness, you not only protect yourself but also send a resounding message. I am untouchable, and darkness has no hold here. In the spiritual realms, your name is more than a mere identifier. It resonates as a declaration of divine authority and purpose. It is marked by power, imbued with the backing of the Creator himself, and recognized by every force in existence. Dark forces know your name, and the sound of it sends tremors through their ranks. They understand that you are not ordinary. You are chosen, protected, and elevated by a divine mandate that places you beyond their reach. When they even consider coming against you, they are stopped in their tracks by the weight of the consequences. It's as if your name carries a celestial warning label. Do not touch. This isn't just caution, it's fear born of recognition. They see the divine authority you wield, the angelic armies that stand at your side, and the impenetrable purpose surrounding you. Their fear isn't irrational. It's a response to the reality of who you are. To them, you are untouchable, a living embodiment of divine truth and power. With every step you take, you remind them that their schemes are futile, their plans powerless against the force of God's will that surrounds your life. Darkness thrives in secrecy, feeding on fear, doubt, and ignorance where its schemes can go unnoticed. But your light? It's a brilliant spotlight that penetrates even the deepest shadows, exposing every hidden agenda and deceitful plan. Demons rely on manipulation and deception, weaving lies to trap the unsuspecting. Yet your very existence brings clarity, dismantling their tricks before they even take hold. You don't have to fight or struggle to expose them. Your presence alone does the work. Imagine this. As soon as you step into a situation, The forces of darkness scatter, scrambling like cockroaches fleeing from a sudden burst of light. That's the undeniable power of your authenticity. Your unwavering alignment with truth disrupts their strategies, leaving them powerless and disoriented. They can't operate in the radiant presence of someone so deeply connected to divine purpose. Your light doesn't just reveal their schemes, it renders them ineffective. Darkness cannot survive where truth and clarity reign. By simply standing firm in who you are, walking in the authority you've been given, you become a beacon of divine power that makes manipulation and fear crumble to dust. Darkness cannot compete with the brilliance you carry. Simply by existing, you embody a profound challenge to everything dark forces represent. Your life is not merely a sequence of moments. It is a living testament to light, love, and divine purpose. Every breath you take, every step you make, and every choice guided by faith sends an unyielding message to the spiritual realm. Darkness has no place here. You carry within you the unmistakable imprint of divine truth, a light so radiant that it illuminates even the deepest shadows. You don't need to shout, struggle, or engage in endless battles. Your mere presence is a declaration of victory, a bold statement that the forces of darkness cannot refute. It is not your actions alone, but the essence of who you are, a being aligned with divine will that repels and unsettles them. Darkness trembles before the clarity, peace, and strength you exude, for it cannot stand against the power of truth. Every moment you live authentically in alignment with your divine calling, you dismantle the schemes of darkness simply by refusing to bow to fear or despair. You are not just surviving. You are radiating an unstoppable truth that darkness can neither comprehend nor withstand. As a chosen one, solitude is never your reality. You walk with the constant presence of angelic forces, divine allies who are tirelessly working on your behalf. These are not passive guardians silently observing from a distance. They are powerful enforcers of God's will, ensuring that your path is protected, guided, and clear of anything that seeks to derail your divine purpose. Their mission is not merely to shield you, but to actively pave the way for your destiny, transforming obstacles into stepping stones and adversities into avenues of growth. Every challenge you face is met with their supernatural intervention, turning what seems impossible into a demonstration of divine power. When the enemy attempts to attack, these heavenly forces rise like an impenetrable wall, deflecting harm and using every trial to strengthen your resolve. You are fortified by a spiritual army that not only protects but empowers you. This divine reinforcement ensures that every setback becomes a setup for your success. With them by your side, you are truly unstoppable, moving through life with the confidence that every step you take is divinely orchestrated and supported by a force that no darkness can overcome. Your life is a masterpiece, a divine story written in celestial ink. You are not just a traveler in this world. You are a beacon of light, a disruptor of darkness, and a force that even the devil fears. Your journey is fortified by divine protection, guided by purpose, and illuminated by truth. Every step you take is a testament to God's unwavering plan for your life, and every challenge you face only amplifies your brilliance. So, stand tall, chosen one. Shine your light boldly and without hesitation. The world needs your radiance, your strength, and your unwavering faith. Remember, the heavens celebrate your every step, cheering you on as you walk in purpose and power. Let this message fill your spirit with hope and courage as you continue your divine journey. If this message has resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video. Share it with those who need encouragement. Together, let us rise stronger, brighter, and more united than ever before. Thank you for being here and see you in the next video. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of, a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real, merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, and instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation, a light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence, all of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to His mission. With your generosity, you help spread His love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see. We often hear whispers of the phrase, "the chosen ones," a concept that evokes images of mythical heroes, destined saviors, and legendary figures. It feels like something out of a grand tale, something meant only for the extraordinary. But what if I told you that the chosen ones are not born but made? What if being chosen isn't about destiny but about transformation? A process that requires endurance, courage, and a willingness to face challenges most people never even recognize? These trials, these tests, are not physical. They aren't measured by strength or speed, nor do they manifest in forms visible to the naked eye. They are spiritual, mental, and emotional, the hardest challenges anyone can face. Few people even notice these tests. Fewer still endure them to completion. Yet for those who do, the transformation is profound. This is the truth about the chosen ones. They are not marked by birth but forged in fire. They are shaped through trials, refined by experiences that strip away all illusions, and molded into something extraordinary. And while this journey is arduous, it is also beautiful. Let's delve into this journey, step by step, test by test. Life itself is a test, but it's not the kind we imagine. A standardized exam with predictable questions and straightforward answers. Instead, life's tests are deeply personal and uniquely tailored to each of us. They are designed not to measure what you know, but to reveal who you are. These challenges illuminate your hidden strengths, expose your vulnerabilities, and force you to confront the fears you've long avoided. For the chosen ones, these tests are particularly intense. They don't seek out these trials. Instead, they are drawn to them by an unrelenting inner pull. A deep, unshakable whisper that says, "You must go through this." This calling is not something they can ignore. It's not glamorous or easy, and it often feels like an unbearable weight. These tests stretch them to their limits, shaking the foundation of their beliefs and forcing them to question everything, even their very identity. Most people, when faced with such challenges, retreat to the safety of their illusions. They turn away from the unknown and settle back into what is comfortable and familiar. The idea of leaving behind the life they know, even if it no longer serves them, feels too frightening to bear. But the chosen ones don't have that choice. They are compelled to move forward, even when the path ahead is dark and terrifying. They understand, at a deep level, that avoiding the challenge isn't an option. Each step they take, no matter how painful or uncertain, brings them closer to the truth of who they are meant to become. This is what sets them apart. The chosen ones face the tests not because they want to, but because their souls demand it. It is through this fire that they are transformed. The first test is perhaps the most foundational. It requires you to confront the truth of who you truly are. From the moment we become aware of the world around us, we begin constructing an identity, a mask we show to the world. This mask is made up of the roles we play, the achievements we chase, the relationships we cultivate, and the possessions we accumulate. We weave these elements together into a story that tells us, and everyone else, who we are. I am my career. I am my relationships. I am my successes. But these are just layers. Beneath them lies the raw, unadorned essence of you. The part of you that exists independent of titles, accolades, and material possessions. The first test is designed to strip away these superficial layers, forcing you to confront the truth beneath. It asks you to stand before the mirror, not as the version of yourself you've carefully curated, but as the person you are when all the external trappings are gone. This moment can be profoundly disorienting. Without the familiar anchors of your identity, you may feel like you're staring into an abyss. The questions arise like a storm. Who am I without my job, my relationships, my possessions? Who am I when all the things I thought defined me are no longer there? For many, this confrontation is unbearable. The mask has become so intertwined with their sense of self that they can't imagine existing without it. The prospect of facing the truth feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, and so they turn back. They retreat into the comfort of the illusions they've built, clinging tightly to their constructed identities to avoid the pain of self-examination. But the chosen ones do not retreat. They stand firm, even as the ground beneath them feels like it's crumbling. They stare into the abyss, no matter how frightening it may seem. They know that the only way to discover their true self is to confront the hardest question of all. Who am I really? And in that moment of courage, the journey of transformation begins. It's not an answer that comes easily or quickly. It's a process of peeling back the layers, one by one, until the essence of who you are is revealed. The chosen ones understand that this is not just a test, it's an awakening, for only when you see yourself as you truly are can you step into the fullness of who you are meant to become. The second test is the test of isolation. We live in a world that thrives on noise, a relentless, all-encompassing hum that fills every waking moment. Social media demands our attention, work obligations pull us in every direction, and endless streams of entertainment promise distraction at every turn. This constant noise drowns out something profoundly important: the voice of our true selves. The second test asks something radical of you. It asks you to step away from the noise and enter the silence. This is not merely physical isolation, though creating space for solitude can be part of it. This test calls for something deeper: mental and emotional solitude. It requires you to face yourself in a way that few ever dare. Sitting alone with your thoughts can be unsettling. In the quiet, there is no one to distract you from your fears, your insecurities, or the truths you've buried beneath layers of busyness. You are forced to confront not only your deepest desires but also the doubts and shadows you've long avoided. For most, this silence feels unbearable. It's easier to return to the noise, to immerse yourself in the distractions of the external world than to face what lies within. But the chosen ones approach the silence differently. They do not fear it, they embrace it. To them, the silence is not an enemy to be avoided, but a teacher waiting to guide them. It is in this stillness that they begin to hear a voice that has been calling to them all along. Their inner voice, the authentic self that knows the way forward. In the silence, the chosen ones discover clarity. They come to understand that the noise of the world is fleeting, but the truth found in stillness is eternal. It is this willingness to listen, to truly listen, that sets them apart. Letting go may sound simple, but it's one of the hardest challenges you'll face. We carry so much in life: grudges that weigh on our hearts, unfulfilled expectations that cloud our vision, disappointments that whisper of failure, and the heavy baggage of our past. These attachments become chains, binding us to pain and holding us back from the life we are meant to live. The third test asks something profoundly challenging of us. It asks us to let go. Letting go doesn't mean that you stop caring about the people, dreams, or goals that matter to you. It means you stop clinging to them with a desperate grip. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and trusting that life knows what is best. Letting go requires immense strength, more than holding on ever will. It demands faith that what is meant for you will come to you in its time, and what is not meant for you will fall away. no matter how tightly you hold on. This process, however, is not straightforward. Just when you think you've mastered the art of release, life has a way of throwing you a curveball. Something or someone will appear, a relationship, an opportunity, a dream you thought you'd given up, and you'll feel the old urge to grasp again, to cling tightly to what feels familiar. In these moments, the real test begins. You must ask yourself, am I willing to let go even of this? Letting go is not a one-time act, but a continual practice, a conscious choice to trust in the flow of life. The chosen ones understand this. They see that freedom doesn't come from holding on, it comes from releasing. And in the act of letting go, they discover a profound truth. The less they cling, the more life gives them exactly what they need. The fourth test is the most harrowing of them all, the dark night of the soul. This test is one of the most profound and challenging trials anyone can face. It shatters the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Relationships you once relied on fall apart. Career paths that seemed certain dissolve into uncertainty. Even your sense of purpose, what once drove you, fades into obscurity. You are plunged into a state of intense inner turmoil, where nothing feels stable or secure. The questions come relentlessly. Why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? Will I ever make it out of this darkness? This is the dark night of the soul, and it feels like the universe itself has turned against you. But here's the truth. This test is not a punishment. It is a purification. It strips away everything that is not truly you, the illusions, the attachments, the identities you've clung to, leaving you raw, vulnerable, and exposed. In this stripping away, you are brought closer to your core, to the essence of who you really are. The darkness feels suffocating, endless. Many lose themselves in despair, unable to see a way forward. They become trapped in the shadows, convinced there is no light on the other side. But the chosen ones endure. Even when the path ahead is invisible, even when belief feels impossible, they continue to trust. They trust not because they see the light, but because they know, deep down, that the darkness is temporary. They understand that the dark night of the soul is not the end, but the beginning of transformation, a crucible through which their true selves can emerge. In this test, faith is their only guide. Faith in the unseen, in the possibility of renewal, and in the quiet truth that even the deepest darkness holds the seed of light. The chosen ones hold on to this truth and keep moving forward step by step toward their awakening. Faith is the bridge that carries you from the deepest darkness to the promise of light. It is the invisible thread that holds you together when everything else in your life seems to unravel. This test is not about blind belief or naive optimism. It's about trusting in the unseen, in a greater plan, even when your current reality is filled with chaos, pain, and uncertainty. When you find yourself in the darkest moments of your journey, when the road ahead seems blocked and the weight of despair threatens to crush you, faith becomes your lifeline. But this faith is not passive. It requires courage. It demands that you acknowledge your pain fully, that you sit with your sorrow and doubts, and still choose to believe that there is a reason for it all. This is not easy. Faith in the midst of darkness feels like walking forward with no clear path, trusting that the ground will appear beneath your feet with each step. It asks you to hold on, even when everything around you screams for you to let go. For the chosen ones, faith is not an option. It is a necessity. They cling to it with everything they have, knowing that it is the only thing capable of guiding them through the abyss. Even when each step feels like it's leading them deeper into the shadows, they continue forward. The chosen ones understand a profound truth. Faith is not about avoiding the darkness. It is about enduring it. It is the quiet, unwavering belief that the light still exists, even if it cannot yet be seen. And it is this faith, this refusal to give up, that eventually leads them out of the darkness and into a place of transformation and renewal. The penultimate test is the test of surrender, a challenge that strikes at the heart of our deepest instincts. As humans, we are conditioned to seek control, to plan, to strategize, to bend life to fit our desires and expectations. But surrender asks something radically different. It does not mean giving up or losing hope. Instead, it means releasing your grip on the need to control every outcome. It's about trusting the flow of life, trusting that there is a power far greater than your own guiding the way. Surrender is not passive. It is an act of profound courage. It requires you to let go of the illusion that you can shape every aspect of your journey. Imagine swimming in a powerful river. If you fight against the current, struggling to swim upstream, you will only exhaust yourself. You may even drown in your effort to resist. But if you surrender to the flow, the river will carry you effortlessly, taking you to places you could never reach on your own. This is the essence of surrender, allowing life to unfold as it will, without resistance, and trusting that it will take you exactly where you need to be. The chosen ones understand this. They recognize that control is an illusion, a futile attempt to dictate the course of an existence far more intricate and vast than they can comprehend. Even when the path ahead is unclear, even when life feels uncertain or chaotic, they choose to trust. They let go of their need to control outcomes, believing that life knows what it's doing, even when they don't. Through surrender, the chosen ones find freedom. They learn that in letting go, they gain access to a greater intelligence, a flow of life that carries them toward growth, purpose, and peace. It is this trust, this willingness to surrender, that allows them to move forward with grace. The final test is not one of endurance, struggle, or even effort. It is a test of realization. It is the moment of awakening, the culmination of every trial and challenge you have faced. This test reveals the ultimate truth. You are not separate from life. You are life itself, a unique expression of its infinite beauty and purpose. In this awakening, the veil of illusion is lifted. You come to understand that the search for meaning, for purpose, has never been about finding something external. Your purpose is not out there. It has been within you all along. Every test you endured, every dark night, every moment of surrender was leading you to this profound truth. Each challenge was a piece of the puzzle, designed to strip away the layers of falsehood and bring you closer to your essence. When this realization dawns, everything changes. The endless striving, the desperate need for validation, and the fear of the unknown begin to dissolve. You no longer feel the need to chase your purpose because you understand that simply being is purpose enough. Your life, in its entirety, is an expression of something greater, something divine. This awakening is not an end. It is a beginning. It is the moment when you step into the fullness of who you truly are, free from fear and doubt. You see the interconnectedness of all things and realize that every experience, both joyful and painful, has been a gift, guiding you toward this clarity. The chosen ones emerge from this test transformed. They carry with them a sense of peace, knowing that they are exactly where they are meant to be, and that their journey is not about becoming, but about embracing who they have been all along. The path of the chosen ones is not for the faint of heart. It requires immense courage, unshakable resilience, and a willingness to face life's most challenging tests. It calls you to step into the unknown, to endure darkness, and to confront truths that many shy away from. But for those who persevere, the rewards are beyond imagination. You'll find freedom from fear, a sense of unshakable purpose, and a profound connection to the flow of life itself, a harmony that brings peace and fulfillment in ways words cannot capture. So now, I ask you, are you ready to take this journey? Are you ready to face these tests, embrace the pain, and uncover the truth of who you truly are? The path is not easy. It never has been. But it is worth every step. And if you feel even the faintest call in your heart, know this: you are already one of the chosen ones. The choice to answer the call is yours to make. Thank you for joining us today and exploring these profound truths. If this message resonates with you, if it sparks something within your soul, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiration, guidance, and stories that will uplift and challenge you. Together, we can explore the depths of life's mysteries and help each other along the path. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Every step you take brings you closer to awakening, to freedom, and to the realization of your unique purpose. Thank you for being here. We look forward to walking this path with you. As we stand on the threshold of 2025, it is clear that this is not just another year on the calendar. It is a turning point, a spiritual milestone, and a moment of profound significance for God's chosen ones. This year marks the end of a cycle and the dawn of a new era, a time of awakening and divine justice. Can you sense it? A stirring in your spirit? A shift in the atmosphere? If you feel God preparing you for something extraordinary, you are not alone. Drop 90099 in the comments below if this message resonates with your heart. This act of faith is a declaration that you are ready to embrace the divine calling God has placed upon you. To all who support this mission through super thanks, may God's blessings overflow in your life. Your faith, encouragement, and generosity are deeply appreciated. Now, let us delve into why 2025 is a year of awakening, a season of divine justice, and what it means for you as one of God's chosen. When you take the digits of 2025 and add them together, the result is 9, a number profoundly symbolic in biblical terms. In Christianity, the number 9 signifies completion, the closing of cycles, and the perfect fulfillment of God's divine plan. It is often associated with justice, judgment, and the ultimate revelation of His will on earth. This makes 2025 a pivotal year, a moment of profound spiritual significance. In this year, illusions will crumble, and the enduring truth of God's sovereignty will shine brighter than ever. It is a time when the faithful, those who have held on to their trust in God despite trials and adversity, will be elevated to positions of spiritual leadership. Their unwavering faith and perseverance will bear fruit as they step into the divine purpose for which they were prepared. Conversely, for the unfaithful, those who rejected the truth and embraced the darkness, this will be a year of reckoning. Choices will have consequences, and divine judgment will separate the righteous from the unrighteous. This is not about punishment, but about God's perfect justice being fulfilled, bringing clarity and restoration. For those who have endured seasons of hardship, take heart. Every trial, every tear, and every moment of struggle was not in vain. Like gold refined in fire, you have been purified and strengthened for a higher calling. You have been prepared for such a time as this, a time to lead, to shine, and to fulfill the purpose God has ordained for you. In 2025, the faithful will rise, and the truth will reign supreme. Every tear you have shed, every heartache you have endured, and every trial you have faced has not been in vain. These moments, though painful, have been part of God's divine plan for your life. They were not meant to destroy you, but to shape and refine you into a vessel perfectly prepared for His purpose. Just as gold must pass through fire to be purified, your struggles have been the refining process necessary to prepare you for the incredible calling God has placed upon your life. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and later imprisoned for a crime he did not commit, Joseph could have felt abandoned and forgotten. Yet, through every trial, God was at work, preparing him for a divine appointment that would change the course of history. When Joseph finally rose to power in Egypt and saved countless lives during a famine, he could see God's hand in his journey. His words in Genesis 50:20 speak volumes. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Like Joseph, the hardships you have endured have been preparing you for a greater purpose. They have forged within you the resilience, wisdom, and spiritual discernment needed to step into this pivotal season of your life. Every trial has strengthened your faith, every setback has taught you perseverance, and every tear has watered the seeds of your divine destiny. Now, as 2025 approaches, know that your preparation was not in vain. Just as Joseph rose to fulfill his calling, so too will you rise to fulfill yours. God's plans for you are unfolding and your time is near. The year 2025 will mark a profound unveiling, a moment when hidden truths will come to light, and the systems built on deception, manipulation, and corruption will begin to crumble. These are systems that have held influence over humanity for generations, from industries to institutions, and even some religious organizations that have drifted far from God's principles. They will no longer stand unchallenged as God's justice moves across the earth. Luke 12:2-3 assures us, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs." This is the promise of divine reckoning, a time when all that was done in secrecy will be revealed for what it truly is. This unveiling is not the end of the world, but the end of an era built on illusions and falsehoods. The masks that people have worn, whether to gain power, deceive others, or hide their true intentions, will fall. Lies that once thrived in darkness will crumble under the light of truth. For many, this will be a time of shock and awakening, as what they once trusted proves to be hollow. Yet for those who walk in the light, this unveiling brings hope and restoration. It serves as a divine separation, distinguishing those who have lived by God's truth from those who have clung to darkness. The truth will reign, and God's justice will prevail. As the foundations of deceit are dismantled, a new era of righteousness, clarity, and divine order will begin to emerge. For the faithful, this is a time to stand firm, for the light will triumph over darkness. The battle of 2025 will not be fought with swords or armies, but within the unseen spiritual realm. It is a confrontation of profound significance, a war between light and darkness, truth and illusion, faith and fear. This battle is not distant or abstract. It begins within the depths of your own heart and mind, where choices are made and convictions are tested. Have you felt the weight of this conflict? Perhaps you've noticed the creeping doubts, the moments of overwhelming fatigue, or the emotional strain that seems to come from nowhere. These experiences are not mere coincidences. They are evidence of the spiritual battle raging around you. The enemy knows your potential, your divine calling, and the light you carry. His mission is clear: to distract, discourage, and derail you before you step into the purpose God has set before you. But do not be afraid. Jesus offers us this assurance in John 16:33. "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." You are not fighting this battle alone. God has equipped you with spiritual discernment to see through the enemy's lies and deceptions. The very trials you face are refining you, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Each challenge is a tool in God's hands, shaping you into a vessel for His glory. While the enemy seeks to sow confusion, fear, and doubt, you are anchored in the truth of God's promises. As you navigate this spiritual war, remember that your faith is your greatest weapon, and the victory has already been won through Christ. You are being prepared step by step to fulfill the mission for which you were chosen. Take heart and press on. The light within you is destined to overcome the darkness. For years, you may have felt invisible, overlooked, or even dismissed by the world around you. Your efforts went unnoticed and your struggles seemed to be in vain. Yet, in the silence and stillness, God has been at work. He has been preparing you in the quiet, hidden places, shaping your character and refining your spirit for the purpose He has ordained. Like David, who was anointed as king while tending sheep in the fields, your season of preparation has not been wasted. The world may not have seen your potential, but God did. Every moment in the wilderness has been part of His divine plan. The year 2025 marks the beginning of a new season, a time when the humble will be exalted. As Jesus says in Matthew 20:16, "So the last will be first, and the first will be last." This divine reversal is a testimony to God's justice and faithfulness. While the world may have valued power, wealth, and prestige, God values humility, obedience, and unwavering faith. He is elevating those who remained steadfast, those who trusted Him through trials and disappointments, and those who chose faith over fear. Your time to step into leadership is near. But this leadership is not about status or recognition. It is about service, influence, and guiding others toward God's truth. Like David, who went from shepherd to king, your preparation was essential for the role you are about to embrace. Remember, God has not forgotten you. He has been preparing you for such a time as this. The trials you endured in secret will soon bear fruit in the open. Stand firm, for your season of elevation is here, and your faithfulness will be rewarded. Leadership in God's kingdom stands in stark contrast to the world's definition of authority. It is not about power, prestige, or position, but about service, humility, and love. Jesus, the perfect model of godly leadership, demonstrated this when He took the role of a servant and washed the feet of His disciples. In John 13:1-17, He shows us that true greatness lies in the willingness to serve others, even in the most humbling ways. Through this act, He taught that leadership is not about being above others, but about lifting them up. As one of God's chosen, you are called to embody this example. Your leadership is not meant to dominate, but to guide, inspire, and nurture. It requires grace to lead with compassion even when faced with challenges, patience to walk alongside others as they grow in faith, and unwavering faith to trust in God's plan even when the path is unclear. Your mission is profound, to be a beacon of hope, shining God's light into the dark corners of a hurting world. Many are lost, burdened by fear, confusion, and despair. As a leader, you are called to lead them out of darkness and into the truth of God's unfailing love. This is not an easy task. It requires humility, resilience, and a heart aligned with God's will. But remember, you do not walk this path alone. God has equipped you with the wisdom, strength, and discernment needed to fulfill this mission. By following Christ's example of servant leadership, you will not only transform the lives of those you guide, but also reflect the glory of God's kingdom in all you do. Your leadership is a sacred calling. Embrace it with humility and courage. Faith is the unshakable foundation that will sustain you through the trials and uncertainties of 2025. It is the anchor that steadies your soul when the storms of life rage, keeping you grounded in God's promises when the world around you feels unstable. Without faith, fear and doubt can quickly take root, but with faith, you can stand firm, knowing that you are held securely by God's unchanging hand. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This is the call to place your trust fully in God, even when circumstances don't make sense. Human understanding is limited, but God's wisdom is infinite. He sees what we cannot and orchestrates every detail of our lives according to His perfect plan. When fear begins to creep in, threatening to overwhelm your spirit, remember that God is always in control. Every delay you encounter, every closed door, and even every unexpected detour is part of His divine purpose. These moments, though frustrating, are not signs of abandonment, but of preparation. Isaiah 41:10 offers this powerful reassurance. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." God's strength is made perfect in your weakness, and His presence will guide you through every challenge. Trust in Him, not just with your words, but with your whole heart. As you lean into His promises, you will find the peace and strength to face whatever lies ahead. Faith is your anchor, your refuge, and your source of courage. Hold on tightly, for God will never let you go. The institutions that once seemed untouchable, major corporations, media empires, and other systems built on deceit and corruption, are now beginning to falter. Their once solid foundations are cracking under the weight of their own dishonesty and greed. What may seem like chaos to the world is, in truth, a sign of God's justice unfolding. These systems, which have perpetuated lies and exploited the vulnerable, can no longer sustain themselves. Their fall is not random but a reflection of divine intervention, aligning the world closer to God's righteous order. Proverbs 21:15 captures this perfectly. When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous but terror to evildoers. For the faithful, this is a time of hope and vindication, a moment when God's truth begins to shine through the darkness that has overshadowed humanity for so long. For the evildoers, however, it is a time of reckoning as the consequences of their actions come to light. This is a moment of divine correction, a necessary restoration of balance in a world that has long been skewed by greed, pride, and injustice. It is a reminder that God's justice is not about revenge but about setting things right. The faithful, those who have remained steadfast in truth and integrity, will witness this dismantling as a testament to God's sovereignty and faithfulness. As these institutions crumble, it is also a call for the chosen ones to rise. In the void left by the fall of corrupt systems, God is raising up leaders who walk in humility, righteousness, and truth. This is the restoration of God's order, a time when His justice will prevail, and His truth will lead the way forward. Stay steadfast, for His plan is unfolding, and the faithful will rejoice in the fulfillment of His promises. As the year 2025 draws near, it is time to prepare your heart and spirit for the new season that lies ahead. This is not merely a turning of the calendar, but a profound moment of spiritual awakening and divine purpose. To step into this new season, you must first release the burdens of the past, those weights of resentment, fear, and doubt that no longer serve God's plan for your life. These burdens, though familiar, can hinder the work God desires to do in and through you. Letting them go is an act of faith, trusting that what lies ahead is far greater than what you leave behind. Galatians 6:7-9 offers a powerful reminder. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. This is a season to reflect on what you have been sowing. Have your actions, thoughts, and attitudes been aligned with God's Spirit, or have they been driven by fear, pride, or the desires of the flesh? The choices you make now will determine the harvest you reap in the coming season. To make room for the new things God wants to do, you must align your heart with His will. Surrender your fears, forgive those who have wronged you, and trust in God's ability to transform your life. This act of preparation is not passive. It is an active pursuit of His presence, a commitment to walking in obedience and faith. As you prepare, know that God is faithful. He sees the seeds you have sown in faith and perseverance, and He promises a harvest of eternal significance. Step forward with courage, leaving behind the past and embracing the abundant life He has in store for you. 2025 is the year of your awakening. It is a year of truth, justice, and divine order. You have been prepared for this moment, chosen to lead with humility, courage, and unwavering faith. The world is watching, but God is in control. As the masks fall and the truth is revealed, stand firm in your faith. Remember that God's light will always overcome the darkness. The trials you have faced were not in vain. They were preparing you for this season of leadership. So rise, chosen one. Your time has come. Lead with love, walk in truth, and shine God's light into a world desperate for hope and redemption. May 2025 be the year of your breakthrough, your awakening, and your ultimate victory in Christ. Stay blessed and keep shining. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with others who need encouragement and hope. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content. Join our growing community as we walk this journey of faith and prepare for the incredible things God has in store for us in 2025 and beyond. Let us spread this message of hope and awakening together. Imagine for a moment that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose the exact family you were born into, not as a random act of chaos, but with the precision of a master artist. It carefully examined the tapestry of this life, the challenges that lay ahead, and said, "This is where I will grow. This is where I will awaken." And yet here you are, questioning why you were placed in a family that feels like a battlefield. Why were you raised in an environment that seemed to chip away at your spirit instead of nurturing it? I've been there. You've been there. We all know the pain, the doubt, and the anger that comes with being born into a toxic family. But let me share a profound truth. Being born into a toxic family is not a punishment. It's not some cruel twist of karma designed to haunt you. It is a gift, a monumental, life-altering, paradigm-shifting gift. I know it doesn't feel that way. Not yet. But stay with me, and together, we'll explore the hidden wisdom buried within your pain. We'll uncover the reason why your soul chose this path and how it's shaping you into something extraordinary. Toxic families are like fire. They burn, leaving deep scars that linger far beyond the moments of pain. They hurt in ways words often fail to capture. Yet fire has another purpose. It forges. It tempers steel, making it stronger, more resilient, and capable of withstanding immense pressure. In much the same way, the challenges of growing up in a toxic family forge the soul, stripping away the comforting illusions that life is always simple or fair. They force us to confront the raw, unfiltered truth of what it means to be human, to experience pain, and ultimately, to grow from it. If you've ever felt like you don't belong, as if you were dropped into a family that doesn't reflect who you are, it's not a coincidence. That feeling of being different is your soul recognizing its mission. Toxic families are, paradoxically, the perfect training ground for those destined to break generational cycles. Those who bear this unique burden are often the ones we call the chosen ones. You weren't born to live an ordinary, unremarkable life. You weren't placed here to follow in the footsteps of the dysfunction you've witnessed. Instead, you were chosen to rise above it all, to transcend the pain and transform it into something beautiful. But why? Why would your soul willingly choose such a path of hardship? The answer lies in the nature of the toxicity you were born into. It is not random. It is deeply ancestral and generational. The pain, the dysfunction, and the harmful patterns that surround you are the cumulative weight of unhealed wounds, unspoken truths, and unconscious behaviors passed down through your lineage. These cycles didn't start with your family, but they were handed to them, and now they have been handed to you. And here's where your role becomes extraordinary. You, my friend, were born to stop it. You were chosen to be the one who sees the cycle clearly, who understands its weight and pain, and who has the courage to break it once and for all. You are here to heal, not just for yourself, but for all those who came before you and all those who will come after. Let that truth settle in for a moment. You weren't born to fit in or conform. You weren't meant to live a life dictated by fear, pain, or dysfunction. You were born to stand out, to challenge the patterns that have kept generations trapped, and to create a new legacy. This is what makes you the chosen one. It's not an easy role, but it's a sacred one. Through your courage to confront and heal, you are forging a path of freedom and transformation, not just for yourself, but for your entire lineage. To break a cycle, you must first experience it. You cannot heal what you don't understand, and you cannot rise above what you haven't faced. That is why you were placed in the middle of the storm, not to drown in its chaos, but to learn how to navigate its turbulent waters. Life has a way of putting us in exactly the situations we need to grow, even if they seem unbearable at the time. The storm is your teacher, your forge, your preparation for something greater. Take a moment and think about your family. What do you see? Do you see anger simmering beneath every conversation? Neglect, where love should have been? Manipulation, disguised as care? Or control, suffocating your sense of freedom? These are painful truths, but they are truths nonetheless. Now let's take this reflection a step further. Where do you see that same energy within yourself? This is one of the hardest questions to ask because it requires brutal honesty. It's far easier to blame our families for their dysfunction than it is to see how we've internalized their behaviors. But the truth is this: toxic families don't just wound us, they mirror us. They reflect back the parts of ourselves we are too afraid to face, the anger we suppress, the need for control we deny, the neglect we inflict upon ourselves by ignoring our own needs. And this is why, as painful as it is, your family is a gift. Their dysfunction is a mirror, giving you a chance to see yourself with raw, unflinching clarity. This doesn't mean their behavior is justified or excusable. It means it has a purpose. Within the fire of their dysfunction lies an unparalleled opportunity, not only to heal yourself but to transform yourself. As you begin to confront the wounds and patterns you've inherited, something extraordinary happens. You start to shift, to release what no longer serves you. And with every step you take toward healing, you transform not just yourself but the entire lineage from which you came. By breaking the cycle, you don't just end the pain for yourself. You end it for those who came before you and for those who will come after. So, as hard as it may be, look at your family with new eyes. See the storm not as a punishment, but as preparation. See the pain not as something to resent, but as a challenge to rise above. The storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to show you your strength. The mirror they hold up is not meant to shame you. It is meant to awaken you. And as you heal, you become the catalyst for an entirely new story, one where the cycles of pain are broken and replaced with cycles of love, growth, and freedom. Let's be clear. This journey is not easy. Being born into a toxic family is one of the hardest paths a soul can choose. It demands a level of resilience, courage, and inner strength that many never imagine they possess. It requires you to confront rejection from the very people who were meant to embrace you, betrayal from those who were supposed to protect you, and sometimes even the heartbreak of abandonment. It's a path fraught with challenges that test every fiber of your being. But here's the profound truth. While this path is painful, it is also transformative. The shift begins when you realize that your family's toxicity is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their pain. The anger, manipulation, and neglect you've experienced are not about you. They stem from their unhealed wounds, their fears, and their limitations. Once you see this clearly, the burden begins to lift. Every time you choose love over hate, understanding over judgment, and compassion over anger, you are breaking the cycle. You are dismantling patterns that have persisted for generations, rewriting the story not just for yourself, but for your entire lineage. Each act of grace, no matter how small, is a powerful act of defiance against the toxicity that has sought to define you. Imagine for a moment, what would happen if you stopped fighting your family? What if, instead of resisting their dysfunction, you started to see them as your greatest teachers? This doesn't mean excusing their behavior or denying your pain. It means shifting your perspective to see the lessons hidden within the chaos. What are they teaching you about boundaries, about self-worth, about the power of choosing differently? This is where true transformation begins, not by running from the pain or pretending it doesn't exist, but by embracing it as a catalyst for growth. The wounds you carry from your family hold valuable lessons. They teach you resilience, the strength to stand firm in your truth, and the ability to love yourself even when others cannot. They challenge you to rise above the patterns you've inherited and to forge a new path defined by healing and wholeness. When you stop seeing your family as the source of your suffering and start recognizing them as the crucible through which your strength is forged, everything changes. Their actions, as hurtful as they may be, become an opportunity for you to define who you truly are. The rejection teaches you self-acceptance. The betrayal teaches you trust in yourself. The abandonment pushes you toward independence and self-reliance. Transformation doesn't come from denying the pain, but from embracing its lessons. When you lean into this truth, you step into your power. You begin to see the toxic environment not as a curse, but as the fertile ground where your resilience, compassion, and courage have taken root. And from there, you can grow into the person you were always meant to be, the one who breaks the cycle and brings light to the shadows of your lineage. Pain, especially the kind born from family, is a unique kind of hurt. It cuts deeply because it comes from the people who were supposed to nurture and protect us. But here's the thing: pain cannot be outrun. No matter how far you go, it travels with you, quietly settling into the corners of your heart and mind. Family wounds, whether they stem from criticism, neglect, control, or conditional love, shape who we are. They influence how we see the world, how we see others, and most profoundly, how we see ourselves. These wounds hurt deeply, but they also hold the key to our awakening. They are not just marks of what we've endured. They are lessons waiting to be uncovered. Every wound carries a truth. Every scar tells a story. And every moment of pain holds within it the potential for growth and transformation. Take a moment and think about the pain your family caused you. What emotions come to the surface? Anger, perhaps, at the unfairness of it all? Resentment at the betrayal of trust? Sadness at the love you needed but didn't receive? Maybe it's a mix of all three. Now pause and ask yourself a deeper question. What are those emotions teaching you about yourself? Anger might be pointing to your need for boundaries, showing you where your soul refuses to be mistreated anymore. Resentment may reveal the places where you've sacrificed too much of yourself to please others. Sadness might be highlighting the depth of love and connection you truly desire, a longing that's worth honoring and pursuing. The healing process begins when you realize a profound truth. The pain inflicted on you was never really about you. It was about them, your family's unhealed wounds, their fears, and their limitations. Their criticism, neglect, or control didn't reflect your value. It reflected their struggles. But somewhere along the way, you internalized it. You began to believe that their pain was a measure of your worth, that their inability to love you unconditionally meant you were somehow unlovable. This is where your true work begins. It starts with separating yourself from the stories your family wrote for you. The lies that say you're not enough, that you have to earn love, or that your voice doesn't matter. Healing means reclaiming your identity, peeling back the layers of their projections, and rediscovering who you are at your core. This journey isn't easy. It requires you to face the pain head-on, to grieve what you've lost, and to release the beliefs that no longer serve you. But as you do, something incredible happens. You begin to see the wounds not as defining scars, but as the fertile soil for your growth. You learn that your value was never tied to their actions, that their inability to love you as you deserved says nothing about your worth. Healing is the process of coming home to yourself, of reclaiming your power, and of rewriting your story. It's about transforming the pain of your past into the strength and wisdom of your future. And it all begins with the decision to face the pain, to learn its lessons, and to step boldly into the truth of who you really are. Healing isn't about fixing yourself. It's not about becoming something new or striving to be someone you're not. Instead, healing is about remembering who you were before the wounds, before the world's pain, judgments, and expectations left their marks on your heart. It's a process of peeling back the layers of conditioning, unlearning the stories you were told about your worth, and reconnecting with the essence of who you are. Beneath the hurt and the scars, your true self has always been there, waiting to be rediscovered. But true healing requires three essential things: self-love, self-compassion, and self-discipline. Self-love is the foundation of it all. It's the radical act of choosing yourself, even when others don't. It's recognizing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval, affection, or validation. Self-love is about honoring your needs, protecting your boundaries, and affirming that you are enough exactly as you are. It's not selfish, it's essential. Without it, healing cannot truly begin. Self-compassion is the gentle voice that walks with you on this journey. It's the part of you that says, it's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to not have all the answers right now. Healing isn't linear, and self-compassion gives you the grace to be human, to feel deeply, and to grow at your own pace. It's a reminder that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love and understanding, especially from yourself. Self-discipline is the commitment to show up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. Healing is not always comfortable. There will be days when old patterns resurface, when the pain feels heavier than usual, or when progress feels slow. But self-discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It's the choice to prioritize your well-being, to create habits that nurture your soul, and to take small but steady steps toward the life you deserve. Now let me ask you, what would your life look like if you lived as though you were truly worthy of love and happiness? Imagine waking up each day with the unshakable belief that you deserve kindness, joy, and peace. Not because of what you achieve or prove, but simply because you exist. What choices would you make? Would you set stronger boundaries? Let go of toxic relationships? Pursue your passions without fear of judgment? Living as though you are worthy isn't just a dream, it's a decision. It's choosing to align your actions with the truth of your value. It's letting go of the fear that holds you back and embracing the freedom to be unapologetically yourself. And as you do, you'll find that healing becomes less about overcoming the past and more about stepping fully into the life you were always meant to live. Breaking free isn't about cutting ties or abandoning your family entirely, though for some, that may be necessary for healing. Instead, breaking free is about something far deeper. It's about detaching from their energy, their expectations, and the narratives they've woven around your identity. It's about reclaiming your sense of self and loving them, not out of obligation or guilt, but from a place of wholeness and inner peace. True freedom isn't found in physical distance, though that can sometimes help. It's found in emotional liberation. It's in realizing that you no longer have to carry the weight of their opinions, their pain, or their projections. Freedom means recognizing that their actions, whether they were neglectful, controlling, or critical, do not define your worth. Their inability to show love in the way you deserved says nothing about your lovability. Detaching doesn't mean you stop caring about them. It means you stop letting their dysfunction dictate your life. You release the patterns and beliefs you've unconsciously inherited, the ones that tell you to stay small, to prioritize their needs over your own, or to live a life that satisfies their expectations instead of your own truth. When you break free, you allow yourself to see your family for who they are. Flawed, wounded individuals doing the best they can with the tools they have. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you understand it. From that place of understanding, you can choose how to engage with them in ways that honor your boundaries and protect your peace. When you heal, your transformation doesn't end with you. Healing is never a solitary act. It reverberates through time, creating a ripple effect that touches not only your life, but the lives of those who came before you and those who will come after. Your decision to confront and release the pain you've inherited is an act of profound courage, and its impact is far greater than you may realize. By choosing to heal, you break the chains of generational patterns that have kept your lineage trapped in cycles of pain, dysfunction, and unhealed wounds. You disrupt the flow of inherited trauma, paving the way for future generations to live with greater freedom, love, and self-awareness. And while the past cannot be changed, your healing shifts its energy. When you heal yourself, you honor your ancestors by showing that transformation is possible, even when they couldn't achieve it themselves. But healing doesn't mean fixing your family. You are not responsible for mending their wounds or solving their problems. Your greatest act of love isn't in trying to save them. It's in becoming the fullest, freest version of yourself. By stepping into your own power, you create a living example of what is possible. Your healing plants seeds of change in your family, even if you don't see immediate results. Sometimes those seeds take time to grow, and sometimes they bloom in ways you never anticipated. But your growth, your light, and your liberation inspire others in ways that words cannot. What if the greatest gift you could give your family is the permission to heal themselves by witnessing your journey? What if your transformation becomes their awakening? That's the power of your healing. It's not just for you, it's for everyone. Your family's toxicity is not your destiny, it's your training ground. It's the fire that forges you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. Each time you rise above the pain, every time you choose to heal rather than perpetuate the cycle, you fulfill your purpose as a chosen one. Your journey is not accidental, it's deeply intentional. You were not born into a toxic family by mistake. You were born into it because you are strong enough to transcend its challenges, wise enough to extract its lessons, and brave enough to transform its pain into purpose. The circumstances you faced were not meant to break you, but to shape you into the person you are meant to be. A cycle breaker, a healer, and a beacon of light for others. So, let me leave you with this question. If you fully embraced your role as a chosen one, if you stepped fully into your power, what kind of life would you create? What would your days look like if you believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are worthy of love, joy, and freedom? Remember, your healing is not just for you. It is your gift to the world. Every time you shine your light, you transform the darkness, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. You are rewriting your destiny, and in doing so, you're paving the way for others to do the same. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. Together, let's continue to explore, heal, and grow as we step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Your light matters. Never forget that. You might think you know where this message is headed, but I assure you, what I'm about to share will stir your soul to its very core. This is not just another voice in the wilderness or an echo in the endless sea of content. No, this is a message imbued with the urgency of heaven, a divine call that cannot be ignored. It is meant for those who are attuned to the heartbeat of God, those whose spirits long for clarity, truth, and the unwavering light of Christ in these confusing times. If you are not a follower of Christ, you may find this message unsettling or even incomprehensible. That's okay. This truth is not for everyone. But if your soul has been crying out for direction, if your heart burns with a desire to walk closer with God, then stay with me. You are meant to hear this. This isn't just my message, it's a heavenly charge. My spirit is aflame with a truth that must be proclaimed. This truth, though hidden and twisted by the world, is a beacon meant to guide the faithful back to the sanctity God intended for His people. So are you ready to hear it? Are you ready to confront the lies that have entangled your life and walk in the purity and power of God's truth? This is your moment to step into the light and reclaim the divine purpose etched into your very being. Your body doesn't belong to you. That may sound startling, but it's the truth. Your body is not your own. It was designed as a sacred vessel, a temple for the Holy Spirit, entrusted to you by God Himself. The Apostle Paul declares this in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Let this sink in. Your body is not a mere shell or an instrument for fleeting pleasures. It is the dwelling place of God's Spirit, making it far more sacred than the grandest temples built by human hands. Yet this sacred space is under constant attack. The world, fueled by the enemy's schemes, seeks to desecrate it through the deceptive allure of sexual sin, a sin that doesn't just affect your body but seeps into your soul and spirit, leaving spiritual devastation in its wake. When you fall into sexual sin, you are not merely making a personal mistake, you are defiling a holy temple. Imagine the outrage if someone were to vandalize a church or a sanctuary dedicated to worship. Now consider this. Your body is even holier, for it is God's chosen dwelling place. Sexual sin is an act of defilement, trampling upon the sanctity of the divine presence within you. Perhaps the lies of the world have convinced you otherwise. Maybe the constant whispers from a culture steeped in compromise have led you to believe that your actions don't matter, that purity is outdated, unattainable, or even unnecessary. But here is the sobering truth. To defile your body, the temple of the Holy Spirit, is to grieve the heart of God. It is to tarnish the sacred space He has entrusted to you and to risk eternal separation from the one who created and loves you deeply. The Apostle Paul issues a stern warning in 1 Corinthians 3:17. If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy that person, for God's temple is sacred, and you together are that temple. These are not words of condemnation but of awakening. They serve as a reminder of your divine identity and the immense weight of your calling. You are not just another individual navigating life. You are set apart, beloved, created for holiness, and destined to live a life that reflects God's glory. But sexual sin, whether it's through lust, fornication, adultery, or any deviation from God's design, clouds that purpose. It drags you into a pit of shame and guilt, creating a chasm between you and the God who longs to draw you closer. The lies of the enemy are insidious. They tell you that your choices are inconsequential, that the fleeting pleasures of sin outweigh the costs, and that God's standard of purity is either too high or irrelevant in today's world. But the enemy's goal is clear: to keep you bound, to rob you of your divine inheritance, and to separate you from God's perfect will. Now ask yourself, what lies have you believed? What chains have kept you bound? Are you still carrying the weight of shame, regret, or hopelessness? Most importantly, are you ready to break free? Freedom begins with truth, God's truth, and with a decision to turn from the deceptions of the world and toward the loving embrace of your Heavenly Father. Sexual sin doesn't just harm you. It creates a ripple effect that leaves lasting scars on relationships, families, and even future generations. It operates as a silent destroyer, unraveling the bonds of trust, intimacy, and love that God designed to reflect His own faithfulness. These sins are never as isolated as they seem. Their impact stretches far beyond the moment of indulgence, planting seeds of destruction that can grow for years or even decades. The enemy thrives in these moments of compromise, exploiting them to disrupt lives and derail divine purposes. Proverbs 14:12 offers a stark warning. There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. Sexual sin often starts as a seemingly harmless indulgence, a fleeting moment of temptation that feels justified or inconsequential. Yet what begins as a small misstep quickly spirals into a tangled web of regret, broken trust, and spiritual emptiness. This is no mere personal failing. It is a calculated attack by the enemy on the divine covenant God established for your life. Sexual immorality, whether it takes the form of adultery, fornication, pornography, or other actions outside of God's will, strikes at the heart of what God has deemed sacred. God created intimacy as a beautiful and holy gift, reserved for the covenant of marriage. Within this sacred bond, intimacy serves as a reflection of His unwavering love and faithfulness to His people. But when this gift is misused, it not only corrupts God's design, but also tears apart the fabric of relationships. Adultery breaks trust and devastates families, leaving wounds that often take years to heal. Fornication cheapens the sanctity of intimacy, leading to feelings of emptiness and regret. Pornography distorts the understanding of love and connection, isolating individuals and eroding their capacity for meaningful relationships. The damage doesn't stop with the individuals involved. It radiates outward, impacting children, families, and even entire communities. Broken homes, strained relationships, and cycles of sin often emerge in the wake of sexual immorality. Exodus 34:7 reminds us of the generational consequences of sin, warning that the iniquities of one generation can affect the next. The choices you make today don't just shape your future, they shape the legacy you leave behind. But here is the hope. God's grace is greater than even the most devastating effects of sin. While the enemy seeks to destroy, God longs to restore. Through repentance and the transformative power of Christ, the chains of sexual sin can be broken, and the wounds it caused can be healed. God's design for intimacy is not just to reflect His love, but to draw you closer to Him and to the relationships He has blessed you with. When you turn away from sin and realign with His will, He can take what was broken and make it whole again. But hear this, beloved. God is not a God of condemnation. He is a God of restoration, mercy, and boundless grace. No matter how far you have wandered, no matter how deep your sins may feel, His arms remain wide open, ready to welcome you home. The God of the Bible is not one who delights in punishment, but one who takes joy in redemption. His heart longs for you to return to Him, to lay your burdens at His feet, and experience the freedom only He can provide. 1 John 1:9 offers an unshakable promise of hope. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. Let this truth sink in. God's forgiveness is not conditional or reluctant. It flows freely from His heart, grounded in His justice and His love. When you come to Him in repentance, He doesn't simply pardon your sin. He cleanses you entirely, washing away every stain of guilt and shame. The stains of impurity, the scars left by poor choices, and the brokenness caused by sin are all made whole through the blood of Christ. Do you see the beauty in this? Repentance is not a punishment or a burden. It is a gift, an invitation to step out of darkness and into His marvelous light. It is a path to freedom, joy, and renewed intimacy with the one who knows you fully and loves you deeply. God's love is unfailing, and His grace is sufficient, more than enough to cover every sin, no matter how large or small it may seem. Perhaps you feel unworthy, as if the weight of your mistakes is too great to be lifted. But remember this: God's grace is greater than your sin. Romans 5:20 reminds us, "Where sin increased, grace increased all the more. There is no sin too great, no failure too deep, that God's grace cannot redeem and restore. Through Christ, you have access to a love that transforms." His sacrifice on the cross was not just an act of forgiveness, it was an act of renewal. He bore your sins so you could walk in freedom. He endured separation from the Father so you could be reconciled to Him. This is the power of His love, unwavering, unending, and unshakable. So, beloved, take heart. If you have strayed, know that God is calling you back to Him. He is not waiting to chastise you. He is waiting to restore you. He longs to replace your shame with joy, your brokenness with healing, and your fear with peace. Turn to Him with a humble heart, and you will find the arms of a loving Father who is faithful to forgive, cleanse, and renew you. Repentance is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a beautiful journey of restoration with God. Now, as you hear this message, do not let it fade into the background of your life as just another fleeting thought. Instead, let it take root deep within your heart. Let it ignite a fire, a consuming holy fire that compels you toward action, transformation, and divine purpose. This message is not meant to simply inspire. It is a call to arms, a summons to rise above the noise and distractions of the world and to stand firm in the truth of God. There are countless souls around you, friends, family, even strangers, who are silently battling their own struggles, weighed down by temptations, doubts, and the relentless pressures of life. Some are yearning for hope, for clarity, for someone to remind them of the unchanging faithfulness of God. Will you be that voice? Will you be the one to whisper words of encouragement and truth to those trapped in darkness? Galatians 6:9 offers this powerful reminder. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Do you see the promise here? Your faithfulness, your persistence in doing what is right, is not in vain. Every step you take toward purity, every effort you make to share God's truth, plants seeds that will one day bear fruit, not just in your life, but in the lives of those around you. The harvest is coming. The rewards are eternal. But you must not give up. This is your moment to rise, to step into the fullness of the calling God has placed upon your life. Yes, the journey may be challenging. Yes, the world will tempt you with fleeting pleasures and empty promises. But remember, these are just illusions, shadows that pale in comparison to the radiant glory of living in God's will. The holiness and freedom He offers are not burdens to bear. They are gifts to cherish, paths to true joy and fulfillment. So, the choice lies before you. Will you surrender to the temporary allure of the world, or will you boldly embrace the eternal rewards of walking in the holiness and power of Christ? This is not just about resisting sin. It is about embracing your divine identity, living as a beacon of hope in a world desperate for light. Rise, beloved. Stand firm in God's truth. Walk in the purity, purpose, and power that He has destined for you. Your decision today will not only transform your life, but inspire others to pursue the same path of freedom and grace. The time is now. The harvest awaits. Do not grow weary. God is with you, and His promises will never fail. Now, as you hear this message, don't let it be just another passing thought. Let it ignite a fire within you, a fire that moves you to action, transformation, and purpose. Share this message with those who need it. Be the voice that whispers hope to someone struggling in darkness. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This is your moment to rise, to stand firm in God's truth, to live in the purity and power of Christ. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are eternal. The choice is before you. Will you surrender to the fleeting pleasures of the world, or will you walk in the holiness and freedom God has destined for you? Let's seal this message with a prayer. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, I come before you. Lord, you are holy, righteous, and worthy of all honor. I ask you to release the fire of heaven upon this message and every listener. Break every chain of sexual sin, every lie of the enemy, and every stronghold that has kept your people captive. Lord, I declare freedom in Jesus' name. Purify hearts, restore minds, and heal bodies. Stir up a passion for holiness and a hunger for your truth. Raise up a generation that honors you with their lives and shines as a light in this dark world. I seal this prayer in the name of Jesus, and I declare victory over every listener. Amen. Beloved, you are chosen. You are called to a life of purity and power. Stand firm, trust in God's faithfulness, and watch as He moves mightily in your life. Share this message, comment Amen, and step boldly into the life God has destined for you. The victory is already yours. To be chosen by God is an unparalleled honor, but it carries a weight that few can comprehend. It is not a badge of superiority, but a divine calling that transforms every aspect of one's life. For those set apart by the Lord, the path is not paved with ease, but with profound spiritual depth. The chosen walk a unique journey, their lives reshaped by battles unseen, revelations profound, and responsibilities immense. While the world sleeps in peace, God's chosen ones engage in nightly encounters that are anything but ordinary. These moments in the stillness of the night are filled with divine purpose, spiritual struggles, and heavenly revelations. They are nights of intercession, reflection, and preparation for the great tasks that lie ahead. Have you ever sensed that something extraordinary unfolds in the quiet hours when the world is at rest? For the chosen, these hours are sacred, marked by transformative encounters with God. Let us journey through the mysteries of the night and uncover the sacred experiences that define those called by God. The nights of God's chosen are marked by mysteries that are as profound as they are challenging, and the first of these is spiritual warfare. When the physical world falls silent, the spiritual realm often becomes intensely active. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." These battles are unseen, yet they are very real, testing the faith, resolve, and spiritual strength of those called by God. For the chosen, these battles frequently manifest in unsettling ways: vivid dreams that disturb the soul, intrusive thoughts that seek to derail faith, or sudden waves of fear that seem to come out of nowhere. Have you ever woken from a dream feeling as though you had just emerged from a battlefield, your spirit shaken and your heart heavy? These moments are not random. They are deliberate spiritual attacks meant to sow seeds of doubt, confusion, and despair. But take heart. God never leaves His chosen unequipped. In these moments of struggle, He provides divine tools to counter every attack: prayer, scripture, and unwavering faith. These are not just abstract concepts. They are weapons forged for spiritual battle. Prayer becomes a lifeline, a direct connection to the God who fights on our behalf. Scripture becomes a shield, a source of truth that repels the lies of the enemy. And faith becomes a fortress, an unshakable stronghold that anchors the chosen to God's promises. Ephesians 6:13-17 speaks of the armor of God, a spiritual defense system designed to protect the chosen in battle. From the belt of truth to the sword of the Spirit, every piece is crucial. As the chosen put on this armor, they are empowered to stand firm, resisting the enemy's attempts to weaken them. Through these nightly struggles, the chosen grow stronger. Each battle becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth, refining their faith and clarifying their purpose. The attacks meant to destroy them instead draw them closer to God, deepening their reliance on His strength. These moments of spiritual warfare are not meaningless. They are integral to the process of preparation for the greater work God has called His chosen to accomplish. The enemy's persistence is a testament to the importance of their calling. After all, he wouldn't attack if the chosen weren't a threat to his plans. One of the most profound experiences of the chosen is the sleepless nights filled with an undeniable sense of divine restlessness. While the world sleeps peacefully, the chosen often find themselves stirred by an urgency they cannot ignore. Have you ever laid awake in the stillness of the night, sensing that something beyond your understanding is unfolding in the spiritual realm? This is no coincidence. It is a sacred call, a divine invitation to prayer, reflection, or intercession. In Scripture, we see examples of this restlessness, such as in the life of Daniel. Known for his unwavering devotion to God, Daniel spent sleepless nights in fervent prayer, seeking wisdom and direction. In Daniel 9:4, he confesses, "I prayed to the Lord my God and confessed." These restless hours became moments of transformation as Daniel aligned his heart with God's divine purpose. Similarly, the chosen today are called to stand in the gap for others, even for those who may not be aware of their spiritual need. Romans 8:26 assures us that the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groans that words cannot express. In these moments, the Holy Spirit empowers the chosen to intercede with clarity and conviction, even when words fail. Far from being a burden, these sleepless nights are a sacred gift. They are times of profound spiritual growth and divine intimacy. It is in these hours, when distractions are absent, that the chosen are refined and equipped for the great tasks ahead. Each prayer whispered in the dark, each moment of still reflection, becomes part of God's process of shaping and preparing His people. These restless nights are not random. They are deliberate. They are holy moments where the chosen can draw nearer to God, seeking His guidance and fulfilling their purpose as intercessors and servants in His kingdom. Have you experienced this divine restlessness? Perhaps it's time to embrace the sleepless hours as a sacred opportunity to partner with God in His work, allowing Him to strengthen your faith and align your heart with His will. In these quiet hours, the chosen are not alone. They are held in God's presence, being prepared for the great purposes He has ordained for their lives. Throughout Scripture, the night serves as a sacred canvas where God paints visions of destiny, guidance, and revelation. Dreams, far from being mere fragments of the subconscious, have often been God's chosen method of communicating profound truths to His people. For the chosen, these dreams are not random but sacred messages that carry divine significance, offering insight into their calling and God's greater plans. Consider Joseph, whose life was forever changed by his dreams. In Genesis 41, his ability to interpret dreams not only foretold his rise to power, but also saved nations from famine. Joseph's dreams were not personal indulgences, they were God's revelation of a greater purpose. Similarly, Daniel's night visions, as described in Daniel 2:19 through 23, unveiled mysteries that shaped the future of Israel and revealed God's sovereign hand over the affairs of nations. These dreams were not fleeting, they were transformative, guiding God's chosen servants toward their destiny. Have you ever experienced a dream so vivid, so resonant, that it lingered in your heart long after waking? Could it be that God was speaking to you, revealing a path, offering guidance, or issuing a warning? In the stillness of the night, when the chaos of the day subsides, our hearts become most receptive to God's voice. Each dream becomes a divine conversation, a holy whisper inviting us to draw closer to Him. Like Joseph and Daniel, today's chosen ones often receive dreams imbued with spiritual significance. These nocturnal encounters are not just about direction, but preparation, shaping hearts and equipping God's people to fulfill their unique, God-ordained purposes. Dreams are an invitation to listen closely and to step confidently into the plans that God has prepared, trusting in His perfect wisdom and timing. One of the most profound aspects of the chosen's journey is the call to intercession, a holy task often placed upon them in the quiet hours of the night. These moments are far from coincidental. They are divine appointments, where God stirs the hearts of His chosen with an unshakable urge to pray for others. Have you ever been awakened suddenly, your spirit burdened with a name or situation that seemed to come from nowhere? These are not random thoughts, but sacred invitations to partner with God in His redemptive work. Moses offers a powerful example of intercession in Exodus 32. When the Israelites sinned, Moses stood in the gap between God's judgment and His people, pleading for mercy. His prayers were not mere acts of faith, but expressions of love and responsibility. Through Moses' intercession, God relented, sparing the nation from destruction. This moment highlights the incredible role of an intercessor, someone who aligns their heart with God's, standing in prayer for others, seeking divine intervention, guidance, or breakthrough. For the chosen, these moments of intercession are not just about the people they pray for. They are transformative for the intercessor as well. Each prayer deepens their intimacy with God, aligning their desires more closely with His. As they bear the burdens of others, the chosen develop a heart of compassion and a greater sensitivity to God's will. Intercession is also a powerful tool for change. The prayers of the chosen can shape destinies, bring healing, and influence spiritual outcomes that extend far beyond what is visible. Whether they are praying for individuals, families, or even nations, these prayers carry divine weight. Have you felt the tug to pray for someone, even when you didn't understand why? Consider it a divine assignment, a holy opportunity to participate in God's work. Through intercession, the chosen step into their calling, not just as prayer warriors, but as co-laborers with God in His kingdom. Each prayer builds bridges of hope, mercy, and transformation, drawing both the intercessor and those they pray for closer to the heart of God. In the quiet of the night, when the noise of the day fades away, the chosen often find themselves drawn into deep reflection. These moments are not driven by guilt or regret, but by a desire to align more closely with God's purpose. Have you ever laid awake, replaying the events of your day, questioning whether your actions, thoughts, and choices reflected God's will? These reflections are not mere musings. They are sacred pauses, opportunities to seek clarity, growth, and deeper intimacy with the Creator. King David, known as a man after God's own heart, modeled this practice of introspection. In Psalm 139, verses 23 to 24, he prayed, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." David's request wasn't born of fear, but of a longing to draw closer to God's guidance and to refine his heart for greater alignment with divine purposes. For the chosen, reflection is a refining fire. It burns away distractions and reveals areas in their lives that may need realignment with God's will. These moments of self-examination are not about condemnation, but transformation. They offer a chance to shed the weight of worldly concerns and refocus on the things that truly matter, walking in faith, serving others, and fulfilling their divine calling. Through reflection, the chosen grow in their understanding of God's desires, shedding distractions and realigning their hearts with His purpose. These moments are refining fires, shaping them into vessels ready for greater service. One of the most profound blessings the chosen experience is the supernatural peace of God that steadies their hearts, even in the face of overwhelming turmoil. Philippians 4:7 beautifully describes it as the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. This peace is not derived from the absence of challenges or the resolution of difficulties. Instead, it flows from the unshakable assurance of God's presence, a constant reminder that no matter the storm, He remains in control. Consider the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Surrounded by hungry lions and facing what seemed like certain death, Daniel rested in the steadfast protection of God. By human logic, fear and despair should have consumed him, yet he was calm and unwavering in his faith. This peace defied understanding because it came not from Daniel's circumstances, but from the deep trust he had in God's faithfulness. For the chosen, this peace is a hallmark of their journey. It anchors their hearts during life's fiercest battles and strengthens their resolve to keep moving forward. It reminds them that while their circumstances may be uncertain, God's promises never waver. This divine peace doesn't eliminate the pain or difficulty of the moment, but transforms how it is endured, turning fear into trust and despair into hope. Have you ever experienced a moment when, despite everything falling apart around you, your heart remained inexplicably calm? That is the peace of God at work, a gift available to all who trust in Him. For the chosen, this peace is not only a comfort, but a testimony of God's abiding presence, a supernatural strength that empowers them to walk boldly through the trials of life, confident in the one who holds their future. As the first rays of dawn pierce the darkness, the chosen experience a profound renewal that transforms the trials of the night into sources of strength, clarity, and divine purpose. The struggles of the quiet hours, whether they involve spiritual battles, fervent prayers, or moments of introspection, are not meaningless. Instead, they become the foundation for a deeper connection with God and greater preparedness for the day ahead. Lamentations 3:22-23 offers a beautiful reassurance of this truth. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Each sunrise serves as a divine reset, a gentle yet powerful reminder of God's unwavering faithfulness. His love and mercy are not just concepts. They are daily realities that refresh the spirit and empower the chosen to walk boldly in their calling. The trials of the night, while often challenging, serve a higher purpose. They refine the chosen like gold in fire, burning away impurities and distractions to reveal a spirit more attuned to God's will. Whether through whispered prayers, victories in spiritual warfare, or quiet moments of self-reflection, the night becomes a sacred space for growth. These struggles equip the chosen with wisdom, fortitude, and spiritual insight, preparing them for the opportunities and challenges that await them in the day ahead. Consider how the night's trials clarify purpose. The prayers offered in desperation become fuel for hope. The victories won in spiritual warfare become testimonies of God's power. The moments of introspection lead to repentance, renewal, and a clearer understanding of God's desires. Through it all, the chosen emerge not weary, but strengthened, ready to face the day with fresh resolve. Each morning brings with it a chance to realign with God's purpose. The dawn is not merely the start of another day. It is a sacred reminder of God's sufficiency. His grace sustains, His strength empowers, and His love endures. For the chosen, this realization transforms the morning into a time of recommitment to their calling. Have you felt the quiet power of a new morning after a night of struggle? The chosen know that no matter how dark the night may seem, God's faithfulness remains. Each sunrise is an invitation to trust Him more deeply, to walk forward with confidence, and to embrace the divine opportunities He has prepared. As darkness fades and light breaks forth, let each morning remind you that God's mercies are endless, His love is steadfast, and His purpose for your life is unshakable. Step into the day with confidence, for the struggles of the night have prepared you to rise and fulfill your God-given destiny. To be chosen by God is both a profound privilege and an immense responsibility. The nights of God's chosen ones are far from ordinary. They are sacred spaces where divine activity unfolds, shaping and refining them for the calling placed on their lives. Whether through spiritual battles, vivid dreams, heartfelt intercession, or deep reflection, the chosen are being molded into vessels prepared to fulfill God's extraordinary purpose. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to take a moment tonight to pause and reflect on your journey. Allow God to speak to your heart, to guide your thoughts, and to strengthen your spirit. Remember, no matter how isolating or challenging the path may feel, you are never truly alone. Each sleepless night, every challenge you endure, and each divine encounter is part of God's intricate plan to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. Let every night be a sacred opportunity to draw closer to Him. Let every morning be a fresh step toward the destiny He has lovingly crafted for you. His steadfast love and renewed mercies await you with each sunrise, offering the strength you need to walk boldly in faith. Thank you for joining this journey and for being part of this community of faith. Your presence here is deeply appreciated. If this message has inspired or encouraged you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel to continue exploring God's Word and His purpose for your life. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need a reminder of God's faithfulness. Your support, whether through comments, sharing, or other acts of kindness, helps spread the light of God's truth to those who need it most. Together, let us walk in faith, trusting that God is shaping us for His glory. May His blessings overflow in your life. Have you ever felt that certain experiences in your life were too profound, too sacred, to share with others? Perhaps you've sensed that revealing these things could jeopardize their power, their purpose. You're not alone. The spiritual journey is one of immense depth, and along the way, God entrusts each of us with unique secrets, divine gifts that must be protected with great care. These are not ordinary revelations, but keys to your destiny, treasures that are uniquely tied to your purpose in this world. What I'm about to share with you is not common knowledge. It's a powerful spiritual truth. This truth can transform your perspective, safeguard your destiny, and equip you with the wisdom to navigate life's challenges. Ignore this wisdom, and you risk losing the very essence of what God has placed within you. Stay with me until the end, because these insights have the potential to change everything. Each of us carries something extraordinary, something deeply personal that God has placed in our hearts. This isn't just an idea or a dream, it's a divine imprint, a sacred mission crafted for your life alone. But here's the critical truth. Not everything God reveals to you is meant to be shared. Some things are meant to remain hidden, protected from the eyes and ears of others who may not understand their significance. Have you ever shared a dream or plan with someone, only to feel a sense of regret or loss afterward? Perhaps you noticed that after you spoke about it, the opportunities seemed to vanish, or the enthusiasm you once felt began to wane. This is not mere coincidence. It is a spiritual principle in action. The things God places in your life are powerful, but their power diminishes when exposed to the wrong environment. Jesus himself modeled this wisdom. Throughout his ministry, he often told people not to reveal his miracles prematurely. He understood the importance of timing and the dangers of exposing divine truths to those who were not ready to receive them. In the same way, God calls us to protect the secrets he places within us. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is a divine strategy, a sacred act of preservation that allows what God has placed within you to grow without interference. When God entrusts you with something sacred, a revelation, a vision, or a dream, it is not just a gift, but a piece of his divine plan for your life. This treasure is meant to be guarded with care, protected from the premature exposure that could weaken its potential. Silence becomes your shield, a fortress that safeguards the precious seeds of purpose God has sown in your heart. Proverbs 11:13 reminds us, "A trustworthy person keeps a secret." This is more than mere advice. It is a spiritual principle that reflects God's wisdom. By keeping silent about the sacred, you create a safe space for his work to unfold in his perfect timing. Silence is not about concealing the truth, but about preserving it until it is strong enough to withstand the scrutiny and challenges of the world. Imagine a seed planted deep in fertile soil. If the soil is disturbed or the seed exposed to harsh winds before its time, it cannot take root and will wither. In the same way, the dreams and insights God gives you must be nurtured in the quietness of your heart. It is in this sacred silence that your purpose finds strength and stability, growing unseen until it is ready to flourish. Silence is not the absence of action, but the presence of trust. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe God's plan is worth waiting for. When you choose to guard what is sacred, you align yourself with his wisdom and prepare the way for his perfect will to be revealed. When we speak too freely about what God has entrusted to us, we expose our divine gifts to risks that can hinder their growth. Envy, doubt, and opposition are often unintended consequences of sharing sacred matters with the wrong audience. Not everyone around you will understand or value the dreams, visions, and purposes God has placed within you. While some may offer support, others, whether through ignorance or malice, can sabotage what you are building. Even well-meaning individuals might fail to comprehend the depth of your calling, leading to misunderstandings or discouragement. Discernment is essential in guarding what is sacred. Before sharing anything significant, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this the right person to hear this? Is this the right time to share? Does this glorify God, or is it simply to satisfy my desire for validation? If the answer to any of these questions is no, it is better to remain silent. Silence is not about withholding for fear, but about protecting for wisdom. Keeping spiritual secrets is an act of faith and obedience. It shows that you trust God's timing and his ability to reveal what is necessary at the right moment. By choosing not to expose what is sacred prematurely, you honor the trust God has placed in you. Protecting your spiritual insights and dreams is not selfish. It is a way of stewarding the divine gifts given to you. Through prayer and discernment, you can align your actions with God's purpose, ensuring that what he has entrusted to you grows strong and flourishes in the fullness of his plan. God often works in the unseen, orchestrating his plans in ways that are beyond human comprehension. His movements are quiet yet profound, and they often unfold in the secret places of our lives. In Matthew 6:6, Jesus emphasizes this principle of secrecy when he says, Your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. While this teaching is often applied to prayer, its wisdom extends to every aspect of our spiritual journey. The work that is done in silence, away from the eyes of others, is not only protected, but also blessed by God. When you choose to protect what is sacred, you create an environment where God can operate freely. By shielding your dreams and plans from premature exposure, you prevent the interference of negative energies, doubts, and opposition that could derail their development. This act of preservation is not about living in fear. It is about living with wisdom, intention, and trust in God's timing. Consider the imagery of a masterpiece being painted. The artist does not display the unfinished work to the public but keeps it in the studio, refining it until it is ready to be revealed. In the same way, your sacred dreams and spiritual growth are works in progress, best nurtured in the safety of secrecy until God's perfect moment for unveiling arrives. Living with this wisdom requires discernment and faith. It is a declaration that you trust God's ways over human approval and that you value His plans above the urge to share prematurely. When you guard what is sacred, you not only protect it, but also honor the divine work God is doing in your life, allowing it to flourish in the fullness of His blessing. In our spiritual journey, not everything needs to be explained or shared. Some things are best kept between you and God. Before you speak, pause and pray. Reflect on whether sharing serves God's purpose or merely satisfies your desire for validation. Silence, when used wisely, is a powerful weapon. It preserves your energy and allows God to fight battles on your behalf. By withholding unnecessary details, you shield what is sacred from scrutiny and potential harm. When people ask probing questions about your plans or personal life, respond with grace, but avoid overexposure. Redirect conversations away from sensitive topics, learning the art of speaking less while still maintaining meaningful connections. To strengthen this practice, rely on prayer as your ultimate shield. Prayer connects you to divine wisdom and grants you discernment about what to share and with whom. Before revealing anything significant, bring it to God first. Seek His guidance and protection with a simple prayer. Lord, guide my words and my actions. Help me to discern what should be shared and what should be kept in my heart. Protect the gifts and revelations you have entrusted to me, and let them flourish in your timing. Amen prayer not only offers clarity but also fortifies your spirit, ensuring that your actions align with God's plan. Equally important is discerning who should be part of your trusted circle. Not everyone in your life is meant to hear your secrets or understand your journey. Build relationships with individuals who are spiritually aligned with you, those who genuinely celebrate your victories and support your struggles without envy or negativity. Pay attention to how others respond to your successes. Do they uplift you, or do they plant doubts and fears? Regularly evaluate your relationships, making adjustments as necessary to protect your energy and focus. Surrounding yourself with the right people ensures that your spiritual journey remains strong and unshaken, aligned with God's purpose for your life. When we speak carelessly or out of turn, we unintentionally open doors for spiritual attacks. Words are powerful. They can create or destroy, build up or tear down. The Bible clearly warns us in Proverbs 18:21, "The tongue has the power of life and death." This means that what we say has the ability to shape outcomes, influence circumstances, and even impact the trajectory of our purpose. Careless words, spoken without discernment, can create vulnerabilities, exposing our sacred dreams and plans to envy, doubt, and even active opposition. Consider the times you've shared something precious, a vision, a goal, or a deeply personal revelation, only to face unexpected challenges or feelings of betrayal. Perhaps you noticed that the excitement you once felt for the dream began to fade, or obstacles seemed to arise from nowhere. These moments, though painful, are not failures but lessons. God uses them to teach us the importance of guarding what is sacred. Every revelation entrusted to you by God is precious, like a fragile seed. If exposed prematurely, it may not withstand the harsh elements of misunderstanding, criticism, or spiritual attacks. These experiences are meant to strengthen your discernment and remind you that not everyone around you is equipped to handle or support the weight of what God is doing in your life. By learning to speak with intentionality, you safeguard your purpose and honor God's work within you. Before sharing, pause and ask yourself, will this glorify God? Is this the right person? Is this the right time? When in doubt, choose silence. Trust that God will reveal your purpose to the right people at the right time. Guarding the sacred is not about fear, but about stewarding the gifts and plans He has entrusted to you with wisdom and faith. Loneliness is often perceived as a heavy burden, a void that feels isolating and unwelcome. However, in God's hands, loneliness can become a profound, divine gift. In moments of solitude, when the noise of the world is silenced, God's voice becomes most clear. These quiet times are not periods of abandonment, but intentional seasons where He draws us closer to Himself. It is in these still moments that God strengthens our faith, refines our character, and prepares us for the purpose He has set before us. When you feel alone, remember that God's presence has not left you. Instead, He may be protecting you, shielding you from distractions, harmful influences, or relationships that could derail your journey. Just as Jesus often withdrew to solitary places to pray and commune with the Father, we too can find these times of solitude to be opportunities for spiritual renewal. Rather than viewing loneliness as emptiness, embrace it as sacred space where God is at work within you. These seasons are not setbacks, but setups for growth, clarity, and alignment with His will. Trust that even in loneliness, He is shaping you for the greater plans that lie ahead. The secret God has entrusted to you is far more than a mission. It is your greatest weapon, a sacred and intimate connection between you and the Creator. This divine secret is not merely an idea or vision. It is a treasure, carrying the very essence of your calling and identity in Him. Protecting this secret is not about fear or isolation. It is an act of profound faith. It declares that you trust God's timing and His perfect plan above the pressure to seek human validation or immediate results. When you choose to guard what is sacred, you allow God to work freely in the unseen. You create space for Him to perform miracles, to build and strengthen what He has placed within you without interference. Silence becomes the soil where divine seeds grow, nurtured in the quiet until they are ready to bloom. What you protect in faith today will be revealed in glory tomorrow, in God's perfect time and way. This sacred stewardship is a reminder that you are co-laboring with God, honoring His trust in you by guarding the gifts He has given. Trust that His plan is always greater than what you can see. By protecting your secret, you position yourself for the fulfillment of His purpose, allowing Him to unveil it at the moment when it will shine the brightest and bring the greatest impact. Let this be a testament to your faith. God's timing is never late, and His promises are always worth the wait. Chosen one, you are part of something far greater than yourself, a divine purpose woven into the fabric of your being. The secret you carry within you is not a coincidence or an accident. It is proof of your unique calling in this world, a sacred responsibility that reflects God's profound trust in you. This is not just a task or a mission, but a divine treasure entrusted to your care, one that holds the potential to impact lives and fulfill God's perfect plan. Guard it well, for in doing so, you align yourself with His will and open the door to miracles you cannot yet imagine. Every challenge you faced, every moment of solitude, and even every betrayal has been part of God's meticulous preparation. These experiences, though painful at times, were not without purpose. They have refined you, strengthened your character, and taught you the value of protecting what is sacred. Through the trials, God has equipped you with wisdom and discernment, building a spiritual resilience that ensures you can carry the weight of your calling. Embrace these moments as essential steps in your journey. Each trial has been a lesson, a reminder that what God has placed within you is worth safeguarding. Trust in His plan, for He is working through every experience to prepare you for a future beyond your greatest dreams. As you guard this sacred trust, know that you are part of something eternal, something far greater than what the eyes can see, and that God's plans for you are always good and perfect. The secret God has placed within you is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. Protect it with wisdom, nurture it with prayer, and trust in God's timing. By doing so, you honor the divine purpose over your life and position yourself for the fulfillment of His promises. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt the need to protect something sacred in your life? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's build a community of support and encouragement for all who are walking this spiritual journey. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content that uplifts and inspires. And remember, what is revealed without preparation can be destroyed, but what is kept with wisdom becomes an eternal strength. Protect your divine secret and trust that God's plan for your life is unfolding perfectly. Stay blessed, chosen one. Wealth doesn't come as a polite knock at the door. It storms into your life, flips your world upside down, and demands, "Were you truly ready for me?" Many crave financial abundance, yet few are truly prepared to handle its weight, its chaos, and its responsibility. Let's begin with this sobering truth. 95% of lottery winners are broke within 5 years. Why? Because wealth doesn't just upgrade your bank account, it magnifies everything: your mindset, habits, relationships, and beliefs. The universe doesn't send wealth to test your luck. It sends wealth to test your readiness. If you are among the chosen ones, you'll know this journey isn't just about accumulating numbers on a screen. It's about evolving into the kind of person who can withstand, sustain, and multiply abundance. So, buckle up, chosen ones. The path to true wealth isn't paved with comfort. It's messy, challenging, and transformative. Let's explore the 12 ways sudden wealth tests you, shapes you, and ultimately calls you into a greater version of yourself. Wealth rarely arrives as a gift wrapped in silk and gold. It comes disguised as chaos, a force that disrupts the ordinary and demands that you transform. The time before a breakthrough often feels like life is unraveling, messy, overwhelming, and even painful. That discomfort, however, is not random or cruel. It is a deliberate process. It's the universe reshaping you, testing you, and molding you into someone capable of carrying the weight of abundance. You don't stumble upon true wealth. You grow into it. At first, this chaos feels unfair. Life may feel heavier than ever before. Relationships strained, routines shaken, and habits questioned. But here's the truth. Not everything or everyone in your life can come with you to the next level. Wealth is not just about having more. It's about becoming more. It forces you to confront what's holding you back and shines an unflinching spotlight on areas of your life that you may have ignored, avoided, or justified. If you lack discipline, wealth will expose it. Suddenly, the money you crave will reveal that impulsive habits and poor self-control have far-reaching consequences. If your relationships are toxic or unbalanced, the stakes will rise. Wealth magnifies everything: envy, entitlement, and hidden resentments that once lay dormant. People who seemed supportive may now show their true colors, and unhealthy connections will become impossible to ignore. If you are indecisive or timid, sudden wealth will paralyze you. New opportunities and decisions will come fast, and hesitation could cost you everything. This is why the discomfort you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. It's life pushing you to grow into someone who can sustain abundance, not just attract it. Too often, people assume that wealth will magically fix their problems, but the opposite is true. Money magnifies your strengths, yes, but also your weaknesses. The habits, mindsets, and patterns that you currently allow will become glaringly obvious, and their consequences far more costly. Many give up during this phase because they mistake struggle for failure. They think the chaos means they're on the wrong path. But here's the profound reality. This struggle is evidence that you are being stretched into your greater self. It's the universe asking, "Are you ready for what you say you want?" Can you handle it? Because the truth is, wealth without preparation won't stay. Lottery winners lose it all because they were never made ready to hold it. It isn't the windfall that matters. It's the capacity to sustain it. So, when life feels like it's falling apart, resist the urge to panic. It might just be falling into place. This uncomfortable phase is where you are strengthened. It's where you shed the old version of yourself, the undisciplined habits, toxic connections, and small thinking, and begin to step into the person who can carry the abundance that's waiting for you. Wealth demands growth, and this chaos is your initiation. Trust it, embrace it, and most importantly, keep going. Your breakthrough isn't far off. It's just on the other side of this discomfort. Wealth changes everything, especially the way people perceive you. It transforms you from just another person into someone with resources, influence, and perceived power. And that shift is rarely neutral. It attracts admiration, curiosity, and yes, resentment. The tricky part? Not everyone who enters your life after wealth arrives comes with good intentions, and discerning the difference becomes one of your greatest challenges. Some people will genuinely celebrate your success, cheering for you with hearts full of joy and pride. They see your growth as proof that dreams are possible, and that hard work pays off. These are the people who add light to your journey. But others will approach you with motives wrapped in layers of flattery or guilt. Opportunists who disguise themselves as friends, lovers, or even advisors. Their smiles are wide, their words are sweet, but their intentions are self-serving. What makes this shift even more complicated is that the people closest to you, family, old friends, or trusted confidants, may also begin to act differently. Not because you've changed, but because your success has shone a light on their insecurities or unmet ambitions. Suddenly, they may question your decisions, withdraw from you, or make passive-aggressive comments that sting. Relationships you once thought unshakable might feel fragile under the weight of unspoken tension. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's fear or confusion, as they try to reconcile who you were with who you're becoming. This is where discernment becomes your most valuable tool. Wealth demands that you protect not only your money but your energy, boundaries, and peace. Redefining access is difficult, especially when it involves people you love. But remember this: losing certain connections is often the price of gaining something greater. It's not about abandoning people, but about making space for relationships that align with the version of yourself you're evolving into. Sudden wealth doesn't just change your financial status. It amplifies your deepest beliefs about money, for better or worse. If you've ever thought that money is evil, or believed you're undeserving of financial abundance, those thoughts won't vanish when wealth arrives. Instead, they'll rise to the surface, louder and more persistent than ever, subtly shaping your actions and decisions. If you feel guilty about having more than others, you may unconsciously sabotage yourself, spending recklessly, giving it all away, or making poor decisions until the money disappears. If you view money as something fleeting, you'll hoard it in fear, never fully enjoying or leveraging it because you're terrified it could vanish at any moment. And if you've grown up believing that wealth corrupts people or turns them into something bad, you may reject it altogether, finding ways to push it away or avoiding opportunities that could lead to more abundance. These beliefs operate like invisible scripts, running silently in the background, dictating your relationship with money without you realizing it. Wealth becomes a mirror that reflects these unhealed wounds, fears, and limiting thoughts back to you. It forces you to confront not just what you have, but who you are and what you believe. The good news? Once these beliefs are brought to light, they lose their power over you. Awareness is the first step to transformation. You can begin to reframe your relationship with money, seeing it not as a source of guilt, fear, or corruption, but as a tool for freedom, empowerment, and impact. Money itself isn't good or bad, it's neutral. It simply amplifies what's already within you. The real work isn't earning wealth, it's mastering your mindset so you can use money to create a life of purpose, abundance, and fulfillment. Wealth doesn't just change your circumstances, it fundamentally shifts your identity. Suddenly, you're no longer seen as just you. You become the person with money, someone others view through the lens of expectations, assumptions, and even judgments. The way the world interacts with you changes, and so must the way you navigate it. People will say, "You've changed," often as though it's an accusation. But here's the reality: you must change. Elevation demands transformation. You cannot operate with the same habits, routines, or mindsets that served you before if you wish to thrive at this new level. Growth requires shedding the old patterns, limiting beliefs, and even parts of your former self that no longer align with where you're going. But this evolution isn't easy. Staying true to your values while embracing the transformation wealth brings is one of the greatest challenges you'll face. People who once cheered you on might begin to grow distant. Family and friends who were pillars of support may feel left behind or begin to question whether they still have a place in your life. Envy, judgment, and whispered criticisms become unexpected shadows of your success, and they can sting. The real test lies in deciding who you become. You are allowed to change. It's a natural and necessary part of growth. The key is ensuring that your transformation aligns with your purpose and values, not external pressures or expectations. Wealth doesn't have to alienate you from your authenticity. Instead, it can be an opportunity to deepen it, to become an even greater version of yourself. So, when others say, "You've changed," take it as a sign that you're growing. Let their words remind you that transformation is not only inevitable, but necessary. What matters is that the person you're becoming is someone you're proud of. When sudden wealth arrives, it often brings a rush of adrenaline and a surge of excitement. The initial instinct might be to celebrate, spend freely, or announce your newfound success to the world. While the desire to enjoy and share your blessing is natural, acting too quickly can lead to impulsive decisions that turn your gift into a burden. Wealth has the power to elevate, but only when approached with wisdom and intentionality. This is where the strategic pause becomes your greatest superpower. Before making any major decisions, take a step back. Breathe. Allow yourself the space to process this dramatic shift in your reality. Rushing into action, whether it's buying lavish things, investing in unvetted opportunities, or sharing the news widely, can expose you to unnecessary risks, pressure, and even hidden agendas from others. Instead, use this pause to reflect deeply. Ask yourself, what are my true goals? What priorities matter most in this new chapter of my life? What steps will ensure this wealth doesn't just bring short-term joy, but lasting impact? Announcing your fortune too early can invite unwanted attention and unsolicited advice, often from people who may not have your best interests at heart. Silence in these early stages is your strongest ally. It gives you time to think clearly and avoid external noise while crafting a strategy that aligns with your long-term vision. Surround yourself with trusted professionals, financial advisors, attorneys, and mentors who can help you navigate the complexities of wealth. Their guidance can protect you from pitfalls and help you build a solid foundation for your financial future. Remember, the pause isn't about denying yourself the joy of your success. It's about ensuring every move you make is intentional, aligned, and built for sustainability. In that stillness, clarity emerges, and with clarity comes the power to turn your blessing into a lasting legacy. Wealth introduces a new reality, one that demands skills far beyond what most people possess when they first receive it. Managing a fortune isn't anything like managing a paycheck. While a paycheck might require basic budgeting, sudden wealth requires you to master the complexities of taxes, investments, legal protections, and strategic financial planning. Without the right knowledge, even a large fortune can disappear as quickly as it arrived. Sudden wealth exposes the gaps in your financial understanding. Ask yourself, do I know how to identify a solid investment versus a scam? Can I confidently negotiate with professionals to protect your interests? Am I emotionally prepared to navigate the relational complexities wealth brings, such as envy, entitlement, or opportunism? The harsh reality is that many people are caught off guard by how quickly wealth can complicate their lives. From confusing tax codes to fraudulent schemes, the stakes are higher, and the consequences of mistakes are far more significant. The good news? These gaps aren't permanent. Sudden wealth doesn't just test you. It also offers an opportunity to learn and grow into the kind of person who can protect and multiply abundance. Commit to education. Take courses on financial literacy. Read books about wealth management, and surround yourself with experts you trust. Financial advisors, tax specialists, and attorneys who can guide you through unfamiliar territory. Learn to ask the right questions, seek clarity in every transaction, and advocate for yourself. Wealth will not protect itself. To sustain it, you must rise to meet its demands. Approach this chapter with humility and a willingness to grow, and you'll gain not only the skills to protect your fortune, but also the wisdom to use it to its fullest potential. Success acts like a spotlight, illuminating your achievements for the world to see. But that light doesn't just highlight your growth. It also casts shadows on the insecurities, doubts, and unmet ambitions of others. While some people will cheer you on with genuine excitement, celebrating your rise as a testament to what's possible, others will respond with resentment, envy, or veiled criticism. You might hear whispers of, "It must be nice," or comments that subtly imply you didn't deserve your success, that it came too easily, or that you've somehow forgotten where you came from. Here's the truth. These reactions aren't about you. They're about them. Your success becomes a mirror, reflecting back the unfulfilled dreams, stagnant ambitions, or unrealized potential of those around you. It forces people to confront their own choices, and not everyone is ready for that level of self-awareness. What makes this particularly painful is that the negativity often comes from the people you trusted the most: family, friends, or colleagues you once relied on for support. Their discomfort or distance can feel personal, but it's a reflection of their internal struggles, not your actions. Remember this: you didn't change for the worse. You grew. Growth is necessary, and with it comes change. But change isn't always easy for others to accept, especially when your transformation reminds them of the areas in their own lives they've ignored or avoided. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Your success is something you've earned through effort, resilience, and perseverance. The right people, the ones who truly care about you, will celebrate your growth and cheer for your continued rise. As for the rest, they will either learn to adapt or fade away. Stay true to yourself and never apologize for the progress you've made. You've earned it. Wealth is so much more than just numbers on a bank statement. True wealth is about energy, the ability to use resources to shape your life in ways that align with your deepest values and aspirations. It's about creating freedom, the freedom to buy back your time, focus on what truly matters, and design a life that reflects who you are and what you stand for. When you understand wealth this way, it stops being about accumulation and starts being about purpose. At its core, wealth gives you leverage, the power to choose. You can invest in meaningful relationships, pursue your passions, and support causes close to your heart. It allows you to build a legacy that goes beyond material possessions, one rooted in impact and transformation. But here's the catch: if you only chase money for the sake of having more, you risk falling into a relentless cycle of dissatisfaction. The chase for more becomes a treadmill, leaving you exhausted but unfulfilled. Instead, wealth becomes truly meaningful when you treat it as a tool to create impact not only for yourself but for your loved ones and the world around you. It's about making choices that uplift, empower, and inspire. Whether it's building opportunities for others, spending more time with family, or pursuing dreams you once thought were out of reach, wealth is the energy that makes those possibilities real. If this message resonates with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What does true wealth mean to you? Share your perspective in the comments below. We value your insights and experiences. And if you found this video inspiring, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our growing community. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.